morning. Good morning. Good morning. Can you hear us out there?
It looks like we got sound. It looks like it.
All right.
I think we're good. Let me check and.
Happy Wednesday. I'm definitely not doing the hump thing. I don't have the Big Mama voice.
Hump day. It is Wednesday. Make. All right, Jamie says we're on.
I can't do it.
We should be good.
All right. We are on and we are rocking and rolling on this wonderful Wednesday, June 5th at 7:07.
June 5th. Today's
do
birthdays. Sophia Lowe. She is 34. She played Alice on Once Upon a Time in Wonderland. And
Ooh,
Lena on
old
A
school.
and E's The Return. Amanda Cruz, 38. She was Monica on HBO's Silicon Valley. Mike Fisher is 44. That is the husband of the Carrie Underwood. And he also is a hockey player, I guess. But he retired in 2018. Pete Wentz.
First, he's her husband.
Yeah.
And then
I
everything
mean, that's probably all he's really known for.
it's all
But
good.
Pete Wentz from Fall Out Boy, 45,
I like Fallout.
right? Mark Wahlberg.
I love him.
Marky Mark is 53 today.
53.
Damn, he looks good for 53.
I know. He shall forever be Marky Mark
He
in
will.
my eyes.
Always. Sounds good, Jamie says. Perfect.
Awesome.
Ryan McKnight, 55. He's the R&B superstar behind Back at One. Kind of forgot about him. I'm going to lie. Kenny G, 68.
Kenny G. What is it that he plays? The
Saxophone.
flute or saxophone?
Saxophone.
Or
Saxophone.
no.
Freddie Stone is 77. And Bill Moyers is 90. He's an American journalism legend.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. And we have a special birthday.
We do. Who? Whose birthday?
Probably not on. I know she's not feeling good, but it's Tanya's birthday from Relax and Renew.
Tanya.
So big happy birthday to her. I'm sure she'll pop in later.
I'm sure. So if you guys see Relax and Renew pop in, that is our friend Tanya.
Yes, make sure you wish her a happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
11 days to Father's Day, which reminds me, we do have a giveaway today
Nice.
for a lucky dad, or one of you lucky ladies can win it for your.
On Tanya's birthday.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
See what I did there?
That's
See what I did there?
Yeah. I
Did
like
that
it.
perfectly. So we want to make sure that we give that, because when Tanya was here on Friday, she said that you've got to use it in June. We'll go over, Betty and I will go over all the details, but we want to make sure we get that to you guys. Hey, look who just popped in.
Who popped in?
Tanya.
Happy birthday!
I'd reach for that, but it's
Good morning.
way over there. So, yeah, we're going to give away a massage for a lucky dad. You can win it for your significant other, a dad in your life, but for Father's Day.
Nice.
We'll go over all the details, and yeah, and it's a massage and an assisted stretch.
What if you're a mom doing double duty? Does that count?
No. We had Mommy's Day already.
Alrighty.
It's Father's
so we're
Day.
gonna use some for the dads.
Got to think of the dads. Today is National Start Over Day.
Restart.
So today is a reminder that despite any setbacks you may have, don't give up. Keep going, even if that means starting over. I like that one.
I like it.
Today is also National Gingerbread Day.
I'm not a fan of gingerbread.
No?
No.
You don't like gingerbread?
No, and I can never put a house together without it collapsing.
Yeah, me either.
And I'd rather eat the stuff on the house than the actual house.
I know, because it just sits there, and it's not. You
Like,
can't ever eat it. So
I want to eat all the gumdrops and frosting.
I agree.
Keep the cookie.
Today is also National Ketchup Day.
Ketchup's all right.
It's okay.
A little overrated for me.
It is. And here's one for Jamie. This is the advice of day. The advice of the day. If your potpourri, your favorite potpourri, which I don't know if anyone really uses potpourri anymore. I think of like my mom back in the day.
I used to use potpourri, but
Okay.
it would just collect dust.
Yeah, well, so if it loses its scent, it's easy to revive. Take a guess with what?
You said Jamie, so I'm going to say alcohol.
With vodka.
Oh, okay.
Pour a little vodka in a spray bottle and spritz the potpourri, mixing it up so each piece is saturated.
Wait, but isn't it going to be weird? That's going to be weird.
A little weird.
It's going to smell like wet. I don't know. What is that? Like
Wet,
lawn.
mushy,
Lawn
flour,
flowery goop.
cinnamon, whatever else is in there. I like how Jamie yelled alcohol. Yeah, vodka.
Alcohol. What if you do it with Fireball? They don't smell like cinnamon. You can have a cinnamon apple.
I wonder if you could do that with the like the pine cones that you get around Christmas time.
Yeah. You can lick pine cones. Covered in
Spray them things with some Fireball.
covered in
and
Fireball.
Call it a day. Well, we're still going to
right.
stretch it out because
We
it's
are.
part of the show, and I'm not going to miss that. So
And I need
we're
it.
going to stretch it out. So happy birthday again to Tanya. I see Jamie. Thank you for wishing her happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday.
And if it's your birthday, 'cause I'm
Happy
sorry,
birthday!
I didn't know, but happy birthday. So we're going to stretch it out. And I got to, hold on. I got to find
Tanya,
the
where are
button.
you?
I got to find the button.
I was supposed to be.
Getting you up.
Getting me started.
The Rise and Grind Morning Show, 7 to 10.
Hey, it's Ice Spice. Hi, I'm Billie Eilish.
What's up? I'm Jake.
Your favorite radio station, BMR.
All right.
We're
And we
back.
are back.
We're back.
That was a good stretch.
That was a really good one. I actually need a better stretch than that. I'm worn out, man. I'm telling you. Much more respect for this man.
What you got going on over there?
What do I got going on?
Tell me some stuff.
You know now that you can post porn on X, formerly known as Twitter?
What?
Yeah, not to
What,
be
you
outdone.
couldn't before?
No. Technically, I guess not. I don't know. But not to be outdone, Pornhub will now let you post your vague, racist, late-night ramblings that end up costing you your job.
Oh,
I didn't get anything. This is hard.
It
Now
is
I see
hard.
why. Dang.
I'm going to hold you to the fire.
Dang.
Go for it.
I like this one.
Make me laugh.
This is a Betty one. 77% of Americans think we should switch to a 4-day work week.
Yeah, let's do it.
Which is why which is another way of saying 23% of Americans hate their families.
I'll take it.
Oh, that's the applause. I don't want that one. What's the one I want? Damn it. No, I don't want that one. Dang, I don't know.
He's just going to hit buttons.
Those crickets. There it is, the drum roll.
All right, there you go.
I found the button.
Oh, it's dangerous.
Dr. Pepper is now the second most popular soda in the U.S.
Is it?
Yeah. It joins Dr. Phil as yet more proof that Americans love fake doctors. I got her again.
Got it.
Oh. Well, that one's pretty bad. We won't do that one. No, that one looks really bad, too. Some of these are a little risque. Ooh. Researchers have developed a birth control for men, or birth control gel for men.
Where do you put it?
It doesn't say, but they're still working on a version that's Nick Cannon strength. Oh, I like that one. Oh, yeah. I think this is in my prep somewhere, the story. President Biden signed an executive order to tighten the border. It's called Operation Pay No Attention to the Hunter Biden trial. Whoops. Whoopsie. But yeah, he's got some.
Yeah, I heard about it last night. TikTok.
I think I have the audio clip of his announcement of this, so I'm kind of, I haven't pre-listened to it, so I think we're gonna play it later today. Cause, yeah, you watch The Bachelorette?
I do
The Bachelor?
not.
No, I used to, but ABC revealed the new Bachelorette cast. This season promises to be explosive. Ooh, and that's not just in cases of gonorrhea. I don't like that one. That was dumb, but I got her. Oh, no. Kenny G, we already said, turned 68 today.
Yeah.
And for those who are not familiar, he's the patron saint of calm elevator rides. No, I didn't.
Wah,
get her.
wah.
I didn't get her. Damn it. Oh, Simon Cowell is putting together a new boy band and looking for members. Oh, stop with the
Boy
crickets.
band?
Yeah, he's going to make a new boy band.
Isn't he like really old?
Yeah, but if you're young and musically talented, you're overqualified. At her again.
Good morning, Fausto.
Oh, what's the last one?
Come on in, Fausto. Come visit us.
Ooh, I don't want to do that one. That's a little touchy. That's all I got.
All
We're done with
right.
those ones. Oh, no. I got one more. You'll like this one. Cyndi Lauper. We talked about it yesterday. She announced her farewell tour. Will take place 30 years after her fans said farewell to her.
Not Cindy. We love Cindy.
Man, I'm making a mess just like him. I can't even get in the dang freaking
You're just throwing paper everywhere.
bin over here. Yeah. Betty, when you go on a plane. Oh, come on. There it goes. Do you drink?
Do I drink?
Do you sleep on your plane ride?
I have snacks.
You have snacks?
I do. I have snacks, basically.
Hey. So a study found falling asleep on a plane after having a few drinks could kill you.
Really?
Yeah. The combination of booze, sleep, and pressurized air puts at a considerable strain on the heart. So if you fear flying, so you want to down, a glass or two or some of those mini bottles, you might want to rethink that. A study in Germany found falling asleep after drinking on a plane could kill you. Airplanes are pressurized, so it's like being 8,000 feet up where air pressure and oxygen levels are a lot lower, and that affects our body in different ways.
Do you get drunker fast? On a plane? Getting drunk on a plane.
I don't know. I don't think it. Let's see if it says. It says the study effects have 48 adults sleep for 4 hours in pressurized chambers, Once with no alcohol and once after they've had 2 drinks. And the lower air pressure, sleeping after drinking, put a considerable strain on the heart, causing heart rates to rise and blood oxygen levels to plummet, sometimes below, 85%.
Jamie says she drinks at the bar before the flight and on the flight because she hates flying. But
Jamie,
I'm thinking,
you better rethink this.
I'm thinking it's because she likes drinking.
But there's news. I mean, they think that older people with
love
heart conditions are at the highest risk, but even people's strained hearts are the ones that they put in the sleep, the study. They were also relatively young and healthy, so it affected everybody.
Yeah.
Pretty much. They said that it might actually affect people in first class more than people in coach because when you're seated,
why?
Because when your seat is small and cramped, it's harder to fall asleep and stay asleep. That's the good news. Still, study authors say people should be aware of the risk, and airlines might want to think about serving less booze or not serving at all.
Oh, no, that's not cool. How else am I going to be entertained? And you see people do weird things.
The top 10 things that immediately make us smile. There's
Okay.
10 of them. What do you think? Give me one and let's see if it's on the list.
Top 10 things that make you smile. Your kids.
Immediately.
A baby. A dog.
Not on the list.
What?
Yeah, not on
Really?
the list. We'll go with number 10. Number
You can
10.
walk by a baby and mean mug it? Like, you don't, like...
I guess. I mean,
That don't make sense to me. The
There ain't
first thing you
nothing
do
on
when you see a
this.
baby, I see a random baby and I'll smile at it. I'm not gonna be like, "Rrr, what's up?"
I guess the people that they did a poll for National Smile Month found the average person smiles at a stranger 5 times a week,
Okay.
and being on receiving end of a random smile lifts our spirits an average of 13 minutes, but it's not true for everyone. 1 in 6 people say they rarely or never return a smile from a stranger, often because they're skeptical about the person's motives. Like, is this jerk's grin about to stab me? Oh, who thinks that? Well, who
Oh
thinks
my
that when you see
goodness.
somebody like in, Walmart, Publix, wherever, and they're smiling at you and you automatically think that they're going to stab you?
Yeah. I wonder how many people have thought that I'm gonna stab them because I literally walk around smiling at people.
I
I'm
mean,
like,
sometimes I mean mug people too, not meaning it. Like I do. Like I just am walking
What
and
is
I'm
that,
thinking that
resting
resting bee face. Yeah, I mean, I have it times. So here we go. Whether it's
especially
a
at the
stranger,
deli.
you're right? Whether
That's when everybody has the mean face.
But whether it's a stranger or a friend, seeing someone else smile made the list of the top 10 things that will immediately make you smile. Here's the top 10. We'll start with 10. Spending time outside in the sun.
No, I don't want that.
I mean, I kind of agree because the vitamin D, but
No, I don't want to be in hot.
Buddy's like, no, keep me
That
inside.
doesn't make me smile.
Keep me inside.
Unless there's a drink in my hand and pool in front of my face. I don't,
Right.
I'm not interested in being outside.
Me either.
Next.
Unless I'm by the pool. Receiving a thank you.
Like
Okay.
Okay.
Winning money is number 8.
Oh, yeah, that'll make me smile.
Getting a surprise gift.
Yeah.
Making someone else laugh or grin. It's
I
true.
love that. Yeah.
Hearing good news about a loved one.
Yeah.
Someone else smiling at you, which is kind of same thing. But
Yeah. It's contagious.
receiving a kind gesture is number 3. Number 2 is waking up to a sunny day. I
Okay.
don't automatically smile, though.
Yeah.
And then number 1, it's what Big Mama's doing right now, being on vacation.
Vacay.
So hopefully he's smiling a whole lot because we're over here struggling on the struggle bus. No, not really, but that's it.
Things that make you smile. No babies, no dogs. None of those are in
No,
there.
I was kind of shocked when I read that. I was like, really?
How could you see a goat and not smile?
Especially like those ones, the falling ones or something.
I love
and
them. I want to go to one of those baby goat yoga, even though I don't do yoga. But I just want to be around the goats. It's kind of like my thing.
there's a,
I don't even have a goat. I've never even been near a goat, but I want to be around the goat.
I don't know if you, what is his name?
Who?
The comedian that I follow on TikTok. He's big on TikTok, and he does the Get Up With Me. We got to do farm chores.
Oh, I love that guy.
What's it? Is it Matt Matthews or something like
yes,
that? Is
and
his
he's
name?
a photographer. I
Yep.
love him.
And he's a comedian. He's hilarious. I want to see him when he comes here to Florida because he's just so good. But he's actually, I saw on TikTok, not last night because I wasn't even on my phone barely at all yesterday. I think it was the day before that he is doing like a YouTube TV. He's got
He's
his own
too
show.
funny.
He's got his
This
own
guy's
show
funny.
coming out.
Well, he tried before, and then I guess he didn't get attention. It didn't get enough attention. But then now that he's on TikTok, everybody loves him. So
Yeah.
now they're like, wait a minute, we should have done a show with him because
Yeah.
he's got a whole farm. He argues with these animals.
And he's hilarious.
So funny. And then you can tell he really does care about them, even though he cusses them out. But
Oh, yeah.
it's just funny. And then he wears a house coat with, chickens on it.
Well,
and all
now he's
kinds
got
of
a
stuff.
robe
Super cute.
that you can buy, actually.
Yeah, he's got merch. He's
I
got
know.
a bunch of merch.
He's awesome. I really want to, but he, I saw the clips for, like, his new YouTube show.
Yeah, I'll watch
And he
it.
does that yoga with the goats and all that. And it's
Jamie says that
hilarious.
goat yoga is fun, so I'm assuming that she's done it. I would love to. I
Jamie,
think there was a place in LaBelle that was doing it or
There
something.
is. But I
right?
wouldn't do any of the yoga. I would just want to roll around and play. And
Well,
I
think
just,
I'm
that
gonna-
sounds horrible.
I'm
but
gonna
I
be
just,
the goats,
I just want to pet the goats. I don't want to do anything else. I don't care
and they
about
climb
yoga.
up on you too. That must be good for your back, I would think. Maybe, like
I'm sure.
like
Yeah,
they
they-
walk on your back.
Yeah,
Little
that would feel
hooves.
good.
Little creepy,
I
but
think we'd have to ask Tanya before we do that. Just make sure we don't mess anything
we
up.
get stretched before we go.
Right? We would go and we'd break something
That'll be my luck.
or
Nah,
pull something, and
No, my problem is I'll probably try to steal a goat, and
Yeah.
then I'm gonna be like having to go back,
and then
whole
we'd
way
have
out
a
or
story.
something.
We'd have a story about you on Dumb and Detained.
Ay. That's all I need.
What did
Betty-
Jamie say?
Betty's
Jamie
hanging
said,
out with the sheriff's office today 'cause
Right?
she stole a goat from Goat Yoga.
Jamie said, I played with the goats more than yoga. They climb on you. Yeah, see, that's what I would want.
Jamie.
I think we should do it.
Is it stinky there?
I doubt it, because you're in like a little.
They're not like pooping all over you, are they?
I don't
that
think-
would be
I
my
mean,
only
I don't know.
concern.
They probably would. I mean, it's not like they're going to be like, oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. I have to go to the bathroom. Please excuse me. I think they're just going to let it
I mean, but like they're like what? They're like what?
They walk and poop.
I want
A
to.
lot of animals
really?
do. Yeah. They'll just be walking. You'll see their little tail go.
Listen,
and
I'm
then
a
they're
Miami
pooping.
girl. I don't have any farm animals and things, so I don't know.
You're like, I don't want this thing to poop on me. Can we make sure it doesn't poop on me?
Yeah, the most we had were like flying rats. We had pigeons and stray cats.
And stray cats.
Yeah,
That sounds about
that's
right.
Miami. Stray cats and pigeons.
So, Betty, you just got a new phone, right?
I did. I'm still trying to figure out half the buttons and how to download most of my stuff that I forgot that I had. So
Like Timu or whatever one it
Temu
was.
has not made the list yet. I gotta make my Temu.
Well, Sean said
app.
yesterday that he blocked it on you.
Oh, you don't know my number.
So here we go. So Betty just got one. So do you always want the newest phone, or are you still rocking that old iPhone 5 because it still hasn't fully broken? Here are the experts' top 3 signs that it's finally time to buy a new phone.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that I was coerced into getting a new phone because my volume didn't work on my top part anymore. But I'm one of those people that's stubborn
And you
because I don't want to change anything. I'm already used to it. I finally got it to where I want it with all my programs and all the things I want to do.
and where you want. Well, the good thing about iPhone is when you upgrade, as long as you back
it's
it up.
much easier now than it used to be.
It used to be really hard. Heck,
Yeah.
you couldn't even get half your contacts back in there. But here's the 3 top reasons. 3, what condition is it in? If your screen is shattered, which I don't believe in that because now you can
Everybody's
get
got
those
screen
fixed.
protectors. And
You got screen protectors, but everyone can get them
Kinds of
fixed. But the big one is does your battery die every few hours?
mine did. That was my problem.
Yep, might be
Started dying.
finally time to pull the trigger and buy a new one. Software updates. Running newer software on old phones can actually slow it down. And eventually old phones can't even get those updates. For example, iPhone 10s are the oldest model that can now run the new iOS 17. So if you have anything,
I swear they send those updates sometimes, and I'm like, this update is just to slow down your phone or jack up your phone at this point. Like, I'm like, I don't need it. I don't need it. My phone's like a 12. That was what it was before. Now you can send me all the updates you want, but I always felt like, is it me or is it slower now that it has an update? And that is why. Totally done.
oh,
Good morning, Katie. Good morning. Good morning. And Jamie did say she played with the goats more than more than yoga, and
probably what I
they
would do.
did climb on you. So
Okay.
that I want to do that.
and here's your number one reason for possibly needing a new phone. Technological advancements. Does the model offer a substantial boost over your current phone, like much better camera? That's a good reason to buy it. But if it's not a huge upgrade, you might want to keep waiting.
I like the camera. It's like a more. I like you could do more stuff with it, which I like that because when I did my
enough pictures. I don't.
You know how many pictures and videos it transferred over from my phone? I'm up to right now 20,000. 20,000. I take pictures of a lot of stuff. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I don't take enough. I really don't. Mike's the one that takes the most pictures, and I'm just kind of like, most of my pictures are honestly of Mason, of the baby. I don't remember to take stuff. Like, I'll remember, like, after the fact, like, I should have took pictures, and I don't do it. So, I don't know. That's why, I've got my little pink phone, and I'm okay with it. I wanted to go. It's the only reason why I upgraded that, because I wanted the pink one. She's like, are you sure you don't want the Pro, the Max Pro? I'm like, no, I really don't, because I don't do enough with.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, other than scrolling on TikTok and maybe Facebook, I don't do a whole lot on my phone. I don't answer texts. Everybody knows this. I don't answer messages.
Look at that camera. That's insane.
Mine used to be like that.
I like it.
I think mine was before that was, I don't remember, 13, 14, somewhere in there. I don't even know what number iPhones are on right now. And Samsungs are just as bad. They're like 23s, 24s. I don't know.
That's whatever they had there. And
I'm not even gonna lie. I kind of miss having the button.
the Android?
No, on the iPhone when you used to have the button on the front to get to the home screen. I kind of miss that.
I'm like a bad girlfriend when it comes to phones. Because, like, once I don't see you for a while, I forget what you had. Like, I'm like.
The only reason I remember that is I
don't remember anything my phone had. Probably by next week I'll forget on my old phone and I'll be, like, done with it.
You won't even care. But I have one of my older iPhones at the house. I think it's the 11, 10, somewhere in there, and it's got the home button on it. Yeah, and I miss it. And it was like a rose gold color, and they're thinner.
Oh, yeah.
They used to be really thin, and I really miss it. So that's all. All right, let's.
So now you know.
Stop.
Welcome to the juiciest, the most electrifying segment of your day. It's time to spill the tea, dish the dirt, and serve you the hottest celebrity scoops. From A-list drama to red carpet secrets, we've got it all. Grab your coffee, turn up the volume. Big Mama Radio's Celebrity Chronicles.
Feels kind of nice to hear his voice.
I know, right? I was like, where are you? Where are you? Why did you have to go on vacation?
Tell me something so I can
He just went on vacation. I'm like, this is ridiculous. So now you're off again? Like, dang.
Yeah.
Then the whole thing, we were talking last night at trivia. I was like, yeah, I remember. And Betty probably remembers when he was talking about this week about going to Universal.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, yeah, we'll take you guys will have the week off. And then he's like, no, you guys can come in.
And
Man. Betty, you remember Flavor Flav? Flavor Flav!
yeah.
He ordered the entire menu at Red Lobster to help amidst their bankruptcy filing.
What?
Yeah, there's even a picture. I'll pull it up.
He bought everything at Red Lobster to help them with their bankruptcy.
Yeah. So if you haven't heard, Red Lobster filed for bankruptcy last month. So when Flavor Flav heard about it, he decided to go to one and order the entire menu. Quote, this is from him, your boy meant it when I said I was going to do anything and everything to help Red Lobster and save the Cheddar Bay biscuits.
I love the Cheddar Bay biscuits just for that. I don't care about anything else. I just
Which
like the
you
Cheddar
do
Bay.
know that they're going to keep that. You know how you can buy the box, the recipe box
Not
or
the
whatever?
same.
I know it's not the same, but they're still going to keep that in stores. But
Maybe
you
that
want-
should
you
be
wanna
a
save
side
'em.
hustle. Anybody that knows how to bake, start doing like Cheddar Bay biscuits and putting them everywhere.
they're not that bad to make.
Really? I don't know.
not that bad.
I didn't like the way they came out. They're not the same.
So he is also reportedly in talks to meet with Red Lobster for a potential collaboration. Dozens of the restaurants' locations have already closed, but Red Lobster says it will still have 600 locations open while they try to sell the company.
Is there going to be one here in Fort Myers? Are they keeping that one?
I haven't seen anything yet. Probably not.
I think it's like the only one here.
Think so.
I think so. I've never seen more.
There's
of
not
them.
one in the Cape.
No.
And that's the only one I can think of is probably the same one, the one on 41, right?
They should just do a drive-through so I can just get Cheddar Bay biscuits, and then they would probably stay in business because everybody will be lining up for Cheddar Bay biscuits.
Right.
Forget the other stuff. Don't worry about it.
So Katie's checking in on our Florida Extreme Roofing Facebook Facebook feed, and she said that she was sorry that she missed me last night at trivia, but it was her team that won. So Katie, I don't know whose idea it is. So I got to tell you the story. So their team name was My Favorite Team. That was it. So
My favorite team?
yeah, my favorite team.
My favorite team?
So every time I had to like say, when they were in, when they had the point lead or whatever,
Yeah.
I always had to say in my favorite team. And, I had this one group that they were looking at me kind of funny. And I'm like, it's not my favorite team. And then they ended up winning. And they're really smart.
Yeah.
The group that played, they were extremely smart. And
Is that Katie's group?
yeah. And they see, she's yelling, my favorite team. And they, so the final round, you get to wager up to 20 points.
Yeah.
Well, they were up by just a few points, and so they figured it out that if the other teams that were, behind them, if they wagered all 20,
Yeah.
that they could still win by a point, and that's what they did. They wagered 15, they won by a point, and then I think it's Diana. Correct me if I'm wrong, Katie. She they knew because I'm looking at them because they were like right across from me. And they knew that they had won, and Diana's like, say it like you mean it. And so, of course, I gave it to him and announced that my favorite team. That's basically how I did it. So basically how I did it. So it was a good night, and then they ended up taking a picture with me and everything. They were a really, really, really cool team.
like
So
that.
now
That's
I can see
clever.
why Katie is a part of that group because they were pretty cool. I
I'm going to
enjoyed it.
name mine Tell Me I'm Pretty.
Tell me I'm pretty. She said I could see Diana saying that. It was cute, yeah. She was like, say it like you mean it. And I was like, all right, I'll give it to him.
Tell me I'm pretty.
I was like, okay. They made it great, though. And they made me feel good. They said I did a good job because I was very nervous walking in because, like I've told Betty, I was coming in after Charlie. And
those are
Charlie
big
had
shoes.
his huge shoes. But, there was a lot of teams there that have played before. And so... And I'm one, I stumble over words. There's words that I don't even know how to pronounce. I'll look at it and be like, yeah, I don't know. And I was open with them. I'm like, guys, this is my Ohio education for you, and we're going to roll with it. And they were great. And they said, well, I did a lot better than Charlie because Charlie can't say a lot of words.
Oh, good.
But he has a really good excuse because he'll say, I'm
He's
Spanish. Well, no, he says I'm
Oh.
Spanish, and it's not
That's
my
no
first language.
excuse.
That's what he says. So I was like, man.
I think you can say he's drunk. Like, okay.
But that I did say that too. I said, man, I'm not even drunk like Charlie, and here I am like stumbling over words. But yeah, it was a good time. I see why Charlie loves it so much there. Everyone was amazing, very welcoming. So we'll see.
So Katie's going to the Keys.
That's right, she is.
Yeah, I love it. Where's the cue ball? Dylan, he popped in.
Where's the
Hi,
cue ball?
Dylan.
The cue ball's
Dylan-
got a little more hair right now.
Dylan, we've left unsupervised and
Yep.
unattended.
And just given free reign. And we haven't burned the place down yet, so we're doing pretty good.
Thank you guys for watching the car wreck here. Like,
Right?
Train wreck, car wreck, whatever you want to call it.
Whatever you want to. So Shabuzi, he's the one that sings
yeah.
our favorite song.
The bar.
Did
bar
you know?
song.
Yeah. Did you know he's on 2 of Beyonce's tracks on her new album?
No.
Yeah. So he joked it's part delusional that he's on 2 of Beyonce's tracks.
Mm-hmm.
So he was featured not once but twice on Beyonce's Cowboy Carter. He jokes that it's part delusional and being a dreamer that it happened. He says B is, quote, always trying to break ground. So I think when you look at the country space, as far as people of color doing it, it's not many of us. I think she just saw me as a major people. She just saw me as one of the major people that could get him, that could reach out and follow what she has envisioned for that. So pretty cool. I didn't know he was on 2 songs. I'm gonna have to now, I guess, go listen.
It's going to be really popular.
I love that song. I played that song so many. It was on shuffle last night, and I played it so many times, and
It's become
everybody
like the theme
loves
song
it.
for a
It's
lot of
it's a bar
things.
song. It for
And-
sure is.
The bars for sure.
So, John Legend.
Dylan,
No, we're not.
shut your mouth.
I'm ignoring that on purpose.
Shut your mouth.
John Legend.
We don't want to get arrested up in
Right?
here.
We're good. We're good girls.
We're
not.
live. You kidding me? You're gonna bust in here with an FBI raid. All of a sudden, it's gonna be like bad boys, bad, boys.
What you gonna do?
Put that on the speaker. No, we don't need that.
No, I ain't doing any of that. We got Tommy coming in later.
Yeah.
You'll get some eye candy in a couple hours.
Right. He's
So
gonna wear
John-
his Lululemons.
He better. John Legend is horrified by the allegations against Diddy.
Horrified.
Yeah.
Why?
Usually it's his wife. What's her name? Chrissy.
She's been accused of a bunch of stuff. Well,
but
they both
usually
have.
they have, but usually she's the more outspoken one.
Yeah.
You usually don't hear John Legend being the one that's taking on
No, he's too busy making money.
controversial topics. But he said that he was horrified by the allegation against Diddy. He says that his default stance is to believe women and to make sure that they're heard and that the necessary repercussions can be made for them, or repairs can be made for them to feel whole again. So he has commented for the first time the allegations against Diddy. They collaborated on a song, Kim Porter, last year. He says he's horrified and he's horrified of the video of Diddy assaulting Cassie Ventura. This is a quote: "My default stance is to believe women when they make these accusations and to make sure that we do whatever we can to support them." He adds that he hopes, quote, that they're heard and that any kind of accountability and repercussions can be made to help these women become whole again.
So what is he saying? So he watched the video and he says that his default is to automatically support women. Was he not mortified and horrified by the fact that
You know, when I
this
read
woman
that,
got beat in the middle of a friggin' hallway in a hotel?
when I was pulling that up this morning and I was reading that and I was like,
That's not a default. That's just reaction. That's just like normal. I mean, I don't know.
he's playing both sides. Like,
Yeah.
I'm horrified. Like, by that title, it made you sound like he's horrified that Diddy even got caught. And then he's saying at the twist of it of, well, we got to support women. It's like, dude, you should be standing out and just saying, no, screw that. What he did was wrong. And the video of him assaulting Cassie is absolutely horrendous.
Right.
And these women need all the support in the world. I don't care what Diddy feels like. Who
And why
cares?
do you have to like lump everybody together? Is what I want to know. Like, we're literally just talking about Diddy and what he did with this woman. I mean, that's it. Like, it shouldn't be just a blanket statement like, oh, well, I always support women no matter what. No, like, call this out. Like, this was brutal and it was horrifying and it was, like, completely unnecessary. And he's garbage for putting his hands on her and kicking her in the middle of the freaking hallway while she's on the ground. Like, come on. That's just, I don't know. He needs to stand up a little bit tougher there.
Dylan, you're right on that. Like the sexual, that part of it is, yes, it mostly was on men.
That is true.
Cassie was involved in a lot. I couldn't stomach to read all of the deposition that went through the courts with Cassie and her suit against Diddy, whatever you want to call him, Puff Daddy. I mean, he's gone by Sean
Diddler.
Diddy Combs. Like, he's gone by 5,000
He's a
different
diddler
names.
now, officially. Dylan has named him the diddler. And we're
The
gonna keep it.
diddler. And I couldn't stomach to read all of it because the things that happened to her, if it is all true, is absolutely horrendous. The parties, the way that he treated her, it's too hard to read. So I mean, yes, most of the ones that are coming out, yeah, it's against men, but either way, whether it's against men or women,
It's a
what he did is
big,
wrong.
Like, twisted, sick
Yeah.
ring that he had going on.
I mean, there was a lot of young kids.
Oh, there was one kid that they were talking about on TikTok from all that. One of the young
Keenan, no, Kel, who's on all that? I don't even remember. Gosh,
not the two ones that did the burger thing.
that was Keenan and Kel.
Yeah, I'm not really sure, but they were kind of talking about him and just like videos where you can see how uncomfortable he is. Like, also kind of like very similar to the Justin Bieber, like being a young kid and like this party and these guys are just like rolling up on you and you're like, what, 16, 17 years old? Like, what is going on? Yeah, you could just tell like he's like mortified. Like, his face is like just like, what is this? Like, why are these people rolling up on me? Why are they like getting so inappropriate? You could tell like right away that the kid just woke up and was like, oh, this is a Diddy party. This is what they mean by
And this is
Oh,
wrong,
okay.
and a
You
lot
could tell
of
he
these
was
kids,
like freaking out.
and a
It
lot
was
of these,
that awful.
a lot of these kids, they're trying to get into showbiz or whatever, and this is like huge for them to be invited to.
I wonder how much they hype that up too. Like, oh, you got invited to the Diddy party. Oh, my
I'm sure
God.
tons.
Like, oh, this will make your career. This is gonna be everything. Like, you go in there like, I'm sure thinking that your whole life is either make it or break it at this point.
Oh, yeah.
And then you literally walk into the hands of a pedophile psycho. And
I'm sure that they were groomed. I'm
there's
sure that
there's
they
a lot
didn't
of
just show up.
promises.
I mean, you see the videos of Justin Bieber, and we've talked about it before. There is no way that any of these people, kids, everyone that was involved were completely all there.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of drugs involved, and it's just sad. They
keep playing that song from Justin Bieber that said that he had to sell his soul or whatever it is for a new car and all this stuff. Like,
so I heard
around
that
the
was
pity.
fake.
Is
I
that
heard
true?
that was fake.
Okay.
Because I did see that when all this came about. I was shared on TikTok. It showed that video. It showed like clips of him like at a part, at one of the Diddy parties and everything. And then I started. Reddit is a great place for. There's some factual stuff, and then there's some, just people go on tangents. But people actually
Going through the rabbit hole.
Yeah, people actually proved that it was an AI generated song.
Really?
Yeah. AI. I've got a topic.
Hey, I was gonna.
Oh, I've got a
Sure,
topic
but-
on AI coming up later. What's the headline? I'll just give you a little teaser. AI will soon be able to observe what you eat and shame you for it.
I hate AI.
So, I mean, that AI is coming.
I was all for it, so you just said that.
Yeah, it wants to fat shame you,
No, I do my own damage. I don't need computer assistance.
right? So, where was I going to go? Oh, I want to try and... Oh, so here, we were talking about this. We'll play this here in a second. President Biden signed in an executive order to shut the border when crossings reached 2,500 a day and to restrict asylum for migrants coming from Mexico. The plan could still allow up to 1.5 million to come in the United States.
1.75 million to come into the United
Yeah.
States. Okay.
Migrants caught illegally crossing the U.S.-Mexico border could be denied the chance to claim asylum and quickly deported or turned back to Mexico under the new restrictions announced yesterday, part of a sweeping enforcement effort by Biden. So here is
I think
what he had to say.
800 million.
Hold on.
800 million undocumented.
And I haven't listened to this, and I'm kind of curious just to see how he sounds.
Today, I'm announcing actions to bar migrants who cross our southern border unlawfully from receiving asylum. Migrants will be restricted from receiving asylum at our southern border unless they seek it after entering through an established lawful process. And those who seek to come to the United States legally, for example, by making an appointment and coming to a port of entry, asylum will still be available to them, still available. But if an individual chooses not to use our legal pathways, if they choose to come without permission and against the law, they'll be restricted from receiving asylum and staying in the United States. This action will help us gain control of our border, restore order into the process. This ban will remain in place until the number of people trying to enter illegally is reduced to a level that our system can effectively manage.
I listen to him, and I'm not a public figure, and I can talk better than him. And this man is supposed to be running our country and can't even, that was a 53-second clip and can't even not stumble over his words for 53 seconds.
All I can say is going to be an interesting debate.
I don't even know if he can stay awake for it. I mean,
I'm excited to find out.
and I don't know what I really think about this. Like, I get that, we have to help. And I get that, you just can't. I know that there's different ways to look at it. Trump just wanted to put up a wall and just shut it down. Nobody come in, and now Biden wants to limit it. How do you limit it, and how do you say you get to come or you don't? Like that's the thing. Like, I feel like there has to be more of a plan than just this.
Every country has different qualifications for your visa and for entering this country.
Well, this just is for ones that are coming over just seeking for asylum.
It doesn't matter.
No?
No. Because every country, everybody that comes through Mexico doesn't necessarily have to be Mexican. So there's a lot of people that come from Nicaragua.
Oh,
they
yeah.
come from different places. Cubans do it too. They hop over to Mexico, cross over through the border so they can come in, because especially after they took away the wet foot, dry foot thing.
Mm-hmm.
So there's many cultures that come through there, and each country you have to look at it differently. So like Venezuelans and Cubans and stuff like that are under a communist regime, they're looked at different than someone crossing from Mexico because of their political, like even though like there's like internal conflict or whatever and poverty and all that stuff, their government is still not technically like a communist government where they still have some, freedoms and stuff like that for certain things. Not a great economic system, and obviously a lot of twisted stuff that goes on, with the people in charge, which is not good. No. But anyway, every country is different. And then like my friend who's from Honduras has different travel restrictions, different ways of getting visa. They have more freedom for certain things. Europeans may have a different one. Australians, I know they need to file, and I have a friend that's been like waiting for not political asylum, but to be able to get like a visa over here. It's taking him a long time, like filing purposes, and it does cost money. That's the thing. A lot of people go and they file for things and they wait in line. It took my father 4 years in a concentration camp to be able to get political asylum from the United States. So I mean, there's ways to do it. It's just not it's not quick. If you think that you just buy a ticket, you're going to come over here, that's not how the government works. So you can pretty much forget that. You're going to be on a waiting list. You're going to be filing things. You're going to have to be continuously doing stuff. Other countries, I know, like Cuba and stuff like that, they'll call they have what they call a lottery, where the government gives you like certain amount of visas that you can apply for, and if like it's like winning the lottery, like you get picked, and you're like, hey, Darlene, you get to go to the United States, in 2 months, and then you start prepping, to give all your stuff away to your family or whatever, and then
just take what you.
And then you can't bring anything. So
really,
yeah,
not even clothes, nothing.
No. Everything that you own belongs to the communist government.
Wow.
Even money, you can't bring nothing.
That's
they will
crazy.
hold you at an airport. Like they try to hold my dad over 10 cents that he had in his pocket. Yeah,
that's insane to me to think. Like
it was Cuban money. Couldn't bring it.
It's so sad that people have to live like that, and that you can't even leave the country without you can't bring anything with you. I mean, when I think how blessed we are to be here in the United States, like we take for granted a lot of that. Like just think about a picture, simple as a picture, or I'm sure you probably can't even take like a necklace. A lot of things you probably can't take with you, and it's really sad because it's like there's a lot of that stuff has meaning to you.
Well, my parents came like in the 70s, so when they came, they were on the freedom flights. So the freedom flights were like when you kind of did your time and you were in the concentration camps and all that stuff, and then you got your political asylum, and then you get to fly over with like as a political, technically because you're a political prisoner, depending on how you look at it. But you couldn't bring anything. You could only bring the clothes that you have on. You cannot bring anything else except your documentations and the clothes you have on. And that was my dad's. It's funny because like it means a lot to them. It means so much to them. Like they cried as soon as they hit the air. They were crying. When they landed to the United States, like they were like literally on their hands and knees, like just like, oh my God, I love this country. They hadn't even like walked off the plane yet, just because they had like freedom, like immediately. And then it was just like a moment that my father, like he relives, that the stewardess got on the PA and was just like, as soon as they hit the air, she's like, you're free. You are officially free. And the whole plane just erupted. I mean, I get chills,
I'm getting them just you talking about it, like, because I couldn't imagine. I mean, there's so many, like, I would love for, like, even my kids just to realize, like, you are so blessed that you were born here and you don't have to worry about anything like that. And that, because there's a lot of kids, I hear them, especially when I hear them talking, and they'll be, making jokes about the stuff. And, I get it. We make jokes. We made jokes about, when Trump was saying, I'm going to put the wall up. And, now I was just, I was making fun of Biden. I was only making fun of him because he can't talk. And it's hilarious because I thought I was bad. And this guy is, president of this whole country. But, and it's not to take away from the fact that this is a good thing, hopefully. I hope that while he's still in office, he keeps this up and he keeps allowing and the number doesn't dwindle down. I don't know. I don't think it said if the numbers were higher than that before. I'll have to look into that, but I hope
for illegal crossing over? Right now we have, I believe the numbers were at 800 million undocumented illegal people that have crossed over, and that's dangerous.
It is.
That's very
extremely
dangerous.
And it's scary for them because
like
at any time.
I hate to say this, but I mean, we can't trust each other.
No,
we can't trust each other. Like, what are we thinking? So, Like, everybody needs to, I hate to, put it this way, but we all need a number. We need to be like cattle. We all got a number. We got socials. We got stuff. We got to track us down. Like,
Well, it's not only
it's
that,
just the way it is. Like, I go apply for a job. I have to, like, prove who I am.
Who you are. Yep.
I everything I have to prove who I am, but I get it. Like, I get it. Because, like, back in the day, and I'm not going to get political here by any chance because I hate politics, but this is just from our experience. And Mariette, if you guys remember that was pretty much when the United States kind of opened up everything and said, was like, oh, the Cubans, come on over,
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing Fidel Castro did, which he was an insane person, caused a lot of damage to our families. And he said, oh, U.S. wants to take you? Great. He opened up the prison cells, opened up the mental hospitals, opened up anything that was a problem to him and put him on a boat and sent him over here, made him your problem. So it does happen. And I'm telling you, that's my country did that. So I could not imagine what anybody else is doing, but mine did that. And that is proven fact. You can look it up. And that's just what happens. So just be careful. Just know who you're getting.
My thing is,
be good people all the way around. Be good people everywhere. That's it. That's all that needs to happen.
I just fear for them if, they come over here and they're not legal. It's not safe for them in the long run.
Coyotes are the most dangerous things. I tell you that. That is awful. And a lot of people that cross with a coyote are risking their lives. They're risking their children's lives. And they're risking, especially if you're a woman, there's a lot of bad things that happen to you on the way here.
And it's scary. And it's, and I get it. It's hard because you don't want to.
And some people don't have a choice. They have to,
you have to go.
Like, well, they travel by themselves.
Yeah.
And that's not good.
Or, they've been waiting and waiting and waiting, and things are not getting any better, obviously.
And a lot of them die on the way here, too. They'll leave you in the back of a car.
They don't care.
Trunk. They already took the money. They
It's
don't
so
care.
sad. That's all they're look at. So, all right, let me hit this, guys, and we'll be right
It's awful.
back.
The Extreme Florida Roofing Extreme Stream.
Hey, it's Nicki Minaj. I'm Little Uzi Vert. What's up, y'all? I'm Jessie Murr.
This your boy Jelly Roll.
Hey, this is Doja Cat. We gon' spin and kill everybody, and we telling now. I got a thing for the wild. I got a thing for the wild ones. It's like kissing and hope to cut us, whether they like or not. I wanna show you up. I wanna show
Playing
you
the
up.
big hits. Big Mama Radio. Are you in need? Planning, permitting, and construction management. Homeowners, they've got you covered too. Their expert team can assist with residential dock, seawall, and boathouse design and construction. Inland Marine Group is the go-to for regulatory agencies, providing valuable project input and expertise. Don't wait any longer to get started on your marine project today. Visit their website at inlandmarinefl.com. Inland Marine, the official sponsor of Fishing Friday.
I think we need to
Your
make that
favorite
text in
radio
different
station.
colors so they can read it.
Oh, they were playing music.
Yeah. So you guys are watching the behind the scenes. We have to play the music on the app. So
Yeah,
when
there's
you
no
see
sound.
us dancing around, we put some words on there to say, hey, we're currently listening to music on the app.
It's hard. I'm gonna when we've got Chris coming in from SJC Technologies. I know Betty's right here. So,
Yes.
but mad props to them because
Thank you.
I know I need some help with this. I know how to do a lot with that, the OBS, but I don't know everything.
We got Chris coming.
So
he's
Chris
gonna
is
do a
gonna
good
come
job.
tomorrow, and we're gonna
clean
put,
it up.
We're gonna put some audio in there. We'll get the whole video back and everything, but Big Mama would rather you guys. That's why we did that screen, because he'd rather you guys see us, because we feel like when you guys are tuned in on the.
So no more picking our noses.
Damn,
more.
Betty, why you gotta call me out like that?
No more
Shoot.
straightening up our body parts while we're on
Oh.
hold. We're like, put
All right,
that
I guess
back
I'm
in
gonna have
there.
to like go out there and
Pick
do
your
it.
wedgie
but,
outside.
and then
Nobody
Big-
wants to see it, or maybe they do. I don't know.
Oh, he does.
Is
Big
that a
Mama's
thing?
got the camera outside. the
Is that a
door.
thing?
Yeah, I'm sure he saw. I'm sure he saw me stumbling in this morning. You know,
Why,
I
were you
left. I was dressed. I was for sure. I actually was dressed. I didn't come in my PJs today, but
Okay, but you had a pots night, so
I did. And I'm telling you, I passed by the studio last night on my way home, and I'm like, man, if I did not have a husband and kids at home, I can totally see what he was talking about. How Babs would leave,
Yeah,
a
just go
late
take
night
a-
gig and just fall asleep on the
that's why
couch.
we got the couch.
I almost thought about it. I'm not even gonna lie. If I had all my stuff in the car, I might have told Mike like, "Hey, I love you, but I'm just gonna go sleep on the couch there, because then I don't have to get up and drive. I can just."
So
go sleep."
Dylan says, if you scratch your ass, we gonna know about
You're
it.
gonna know about it, but and we were talking about it when we were in here Monday
Good
because
morning, Dion.
before he left for his another
Yeah.
vacay. I was working on that stream because it got all messed up last week. I don't even know what happened. So I was working, trying to get it all done, and we had talked about it, that he didn't want the little scene that we have, and everyone's
Yeah.
complained. If Jamie's still on here, she'll even tell you they hate that music that plays
Because
in
they're
the background.
nosy. They want to know what's going
They
on in
do.
here.
So obviously we
I would
can't,
too, though.
because Facebook doesn't like us playing music. So
Yeah, Facebook shuts us down all the time.
they do.
Apparently,
so,
we're repeat offenders, but
So when commercials will keep the audio on and stuff like that. But yeah, I wish we could play the music, because then you guys could just see us and you could listen to music. But TikTok.
Jamie's always here, she says.
I really wish we could just go on TikTok, because you can still play music on TikTok. They don't care.
You can do a lot of stuff on TikTok.
You can. I wish Facebook would just. I know it's not a Facebook thing. It's the ownership that owns music. There's a couple different ones. They're
Yeah.
the ones that complain about it. And
Oh, I
wish they
get
would
I get
just,
tagged all the time, especially if I share like a TikTok video, because I love putting. I've gotten to a point where I don't even like just sharing pictures anymore. I'll just make a little collage thing, and I
Yeah.
like it. The reason why I like to share things on my Facebook is for personal reasons, because I love when you get that memory thing, like a
Oh,
year
yeah,
later,
years
2
later,
years,
yep.
and then all of a sudden, like you have like a memory of like something that you did that was really cool, and you're like, it's
I
almost like you
remember
get to
that.
relive it, you
Yeah.
know. So like I love like just doing like a little compilation of all my pictures, like a little video, like on TikTok, and then I'll share it on my Facebook, because I wanna have it come up in a year
Yeah,
and
you
tell
want
me,
to
hey,
remember.
remember you did this? This was fun,
Yeah.
and I love that. It
I do
gives me
too.
like a second chance to relive something that I really enjoyed.
If TikTok would do that, if they would, on a daily basis, I think they kind of do, but it's not like how they have it on. I'm always playing the same dang background music.
You're
But,
gonna have to read. You're gonna have to read Dylan's thing. Because I don't
Oh,
think I
God,
can
here we
say it
go.
with a straight face.
boy, Facebook is a F boy that gets turned down by all the girls at the bar, even if the super
Uggo.
Uggo.
Troll.
ugly,
monster.
we're gonna say, troll monsters that would bail the traffic cones. It's just a straight hater. Dylan
Dylan, we missed
Dylan
you.
needs to come to Southwest Florida so he
I
can come
know.
in here.
Dylan,
Dylan, we need to next time.
we would definitely get kicked off of Facebook if we had Dylan.
Yeah, we would,
Dylan.
actually.
Are you
That's
kidding
true.
me?
That's true. I'm trying. It's weird. You sit in the seat, and I try to not say any bad words.
Right.
When I sit over there, I'm like, whatever, you
Right,
know,
right,
like let it all out. Here, I'm just like, oh.
I'm like,
Oh.
conducting a serious.
I'm like, everything here is just very fancy, and
serious.
there's a lot more room.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I have to be.
Well, you
good,
got all the
so.
buttons, so you got all the buttons. You
I
can't-
do, so I have to be.
You're not allowed to curse when you're
kind
for
of-
the buttons.
I guess not. I don't know. I better start cussing because now he's gonna be like, oh look, this was master plan. Now I'm gonna keep her in that seat so she doesn't cuss anymore.
Ain't doing nothing.
Dad over here. So we talked about good old
morning.
Biden. So wouldn't be fair if we didn't talk about Trump. But this really isn't about Trump, so to speak. But on the Today Show, on yesterday's NBC Today Show, Robert De Niro talked about why he recently spoke to the media outside the courthouse during Trump's trial.
Oh, De Niro.
Yeah, so let's see what
What he had to say.
You were in the headlines recently.
Yes.
You were outside the courtroom during former President Trump's hush money trial. You kind of got into it with some of the president's supporters. Why did you feel that it was important for Robert De Niro to be outside that courtroom?
Because I didn't take my nap.
We're in a very bad situation. I remember you and I about 5-6 years ago talking. I'm down at the Spring Studios. Something about. I said, "What just happened? Just happened." No, it didn't. Didn't happen. It's all about truth, and what we have here is a denial of truth all over the place, and even the speech that he made after is insane. It's just insane, and I'm very, very concerned about it. I think we all are. It's insane. So that's why I felt I had to do something, say something about it, to go on record.
All I kept thinking about was, you remember in that movie where he milks the cat? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Thanks for your input.
I agree. I mean, Dylan said Robert De Niro is irrelevant, so he's got to get back in the light somehow. And that's true. I mean, I had to look it up. I thought for some reason maybe
I think
was
he
a
just got fired
witness
off
or
of-
something, and I'm like, why is he even speaking out on this?
He just
Like
got
he was
fired
nothing.
off of a show or something he was going to do or whatever. Or I don't know.
Just-
There was some controversy about it. That apparently they gave him a role because like they felt sorry for him because he's not getting a lot of work anymore. And then apparently they're like, he's too grouchy and pain in the butt. So they ended up firing him. I don't know.
and you know what makes
That
me
was
laugh?
a TikTok hole that I jumped into. If it's true or not, I don't know.
Because you don't know 100% of everything. The one thing, and we've said this before, is, you know, like TikTok,
Should
it's
we
such a
read some of
great
these
thing.
comments? They kind of seem a little intense here.
They do.
All right, let's see what you guys got going on. So, oh boy.
Selena, tell us how you really feel.
Selena. So Selena's saying we're in a very bad situation with effing Biden thinking he can run shit.
You know, Betty and I were kind of talking outside. Like, that's what I
Yeah.
said. Like, he can't talk.
Dylan says Robert De Niro is so irrelevant. So he's got to get back in the light somehow. In the last 10 years, nobody said, you seen that new De Niro movie? Go back in the shadows, pappy.
I mean, I agree. Like, but here's the thing: when these
He
celebrities,
is old. He is old. People get tired of watching old people. I mean, there's only so many grumpy old people movies you can watch.
and when some of these celebrities talk about it, it's
Okay.
like, you know, I get, you know, everyone has skeletons in their closet, and it's like, how are you speaking about this? Because I'm sure that you've got some skeletons in your closet too. So just pipe down.
we don't talk about the mob.
Don't worry about it.
Let's move on. We don't talk about the
go.
mob. We don't want to get a hit over here.
So we touched base on this. I know Betty's going to hate AI even more because now AI will soon be able to observe what you're eating and shame you for it.
I got
So-
my mom that does that. I'm
I know,
good.
right?
I'm good. We're Cuban. We just see each other and then we're like, did you get fatter?
No?
Is that what it is?
No.
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
yeah, you should really try to lose weight. But I made flan. I just want you
Right?
to know.
And you can have a piece.
and
or
you
two.
should eat. You should eat.
Yeah.
Start the diet tomorrow. But yeah, you are fat. But start tomorrow.
Well, after you have all this
and
food
you're
that I
like,
just
"Oh,
cooked.
well, thanks.
So researchers in Canada are training AI to identify different foods using cameras. So it could track everything that you eat and shame you for your poor eating choices. Just reading that, I have an issue. Because we already know that our phones track everything we do
Yeah.
as is. Because I don't even remember what I was doing. It was something, we were looking something up for the OBS on
Oh,
Monday.
you say anything. It pops up immediately.
And then and I wasn't even on my phone looking it up. I was on the computer and over there, and my phone popped up advertisements like not in TikTok, but in Facebook, you know,
Yeah,
you
it
scroll and
hears
there's
you.
advertisements. It was showing me different streaming services, and I'm like, what the hell?
Right.
So to me, that is scary. Like, you don't need to know what I'm eating. You don't know. It's just too much. But
Could you imagine? Okay, so your AI doesn't really have a body, right? So it's
No.
like this thing. So now we're
it's a
it's gonna
computer.
put like a really ultimate like standard on what like normal human body should be into and what
Yeah.
they should eat. It's like, you shut up, robot. Shut up. That's all I gotta say. Go clean my floor like the Roomba.
So listen, so this is scary. So they're working on the new part of AI that will identify different foods so it can watch what you eat and shame you on it. It's not ready for prime time yet. Right now, it can just calculate how much food is on your spoon or plate with about 95% accuracy. It can't identify exactly what you're eating yet, but they're confident they'll get there. Once this happens, it would use cameras to track what you eat.
Oh my God.
So someday soon, Alexa might watch you open a bag of chips and say, "Are you sure you want to do that? You've already consumed too many calories today."
You're not my mother. Like, that's awful. No.
Can you imagine though?
Yes.
Like, just the world that we're coming to. I'm like,
Delete. Control,
I
alt,
just,
delete.
I don't like the world that we're coming to. It's almost like a real life episode of Big Brother.
Well, they have a ring now. You've seen the ring on your like. It's literally just it looks like a wedding band, and it's got all bunch of, gadgets and gadgets and things in there, and it like monitors everything that you do. It monitors your body, your heart rate, your this, your that. Reports back, gives you report. It's really crazy.
Sean's checking in like that's gonna happen. Alexa's just gonna order you more chips. That's what I'd probably tell her. I would tell her, like,
Whoever
shut up,
endorses.
order me more. I'm almost out.
It's probably whoever endorses. They'll be like, "Are you eating that apple? But let me tell you about Burger King."
Yeah. But it just, Mike
Protein.
Mike and I love
Time
Big
for
Brother.
protein.
We love Big Brother. I love the show.
Yeah.
Mike has tried to convince me. Even Big Mom has tried to convince me to apply for it. I might someday.
Really? You would want to be on a reality show?
Yeah, I would do it just for the fun. And my thing is I've watched enough that I feel like I can read people enough that I would be the one, because I'd be older on the show.
Is Big Brother like Survivor, where you gotta
Big Brother's the one where you live in the house and they have cameras all watching you and everything, and you can win immunity, you can win head of household, and the head of households where you
So
choose.
what's the point of that game? Like, you just have
You
to
win money.
everybody over? Like,
You
everybody
basically
has
have to
like you?
You kind of, well, yeah. It's a game of obviously you have got to be smart enough, because there's some that are like puzzle. All the immunity, or not immunity, but the head of household and immunity challenges. They're not all physical. Some of them are like puzzles and stuff like that. But there's always an older person on there, and I would obviously, because I'm getting up there in age, I'd be the older one on there.
Oh my God, you talk like you're 60. Dear God.
Well, I'm not saying, but there's usually ones that they're in their 40s. They're usually the older one. It's just because a lot of the ones that come on, they're the young kids. They're single, and they're looking for their next love.
I'm 25 plus shipping and handling.
I mean, pretty much.
I don't know.
But we love the show.
I
but
identify as.
when I hear all this stuff about AI, watching what you're going to eat, and, and just like we were just talking about our phones, they literally track everything. I feel like I'm already living in Big Brother. Minus I don't get kicked out of the house. I don't get voted out of the house. That's the only thing. I mean, that's probably going to come soon too. They're going to be like, "Nah, we don't like you anymore. You can leave." It's going to now run your whole life. But I don't know. I think we're going a little too far with this AI stuff. I thought it was cool at first, where you can use like the Chat GPT, where it can make you.
There's a lot of things that are coming good. Like,
There are, but then there's some that it's like.
And it's not the machine that's the problem. It's the people manipulating the machine that's the problem. So if you're going to do things and you're doing for good, there's going to be a lot of great things that are going to come from it.
What did
If
you
you
say?
do things for bad, there's going to be a lot of bad things that come from it. So
Dylan said, on this season of Miami Shore, D beats, who is that? Chardonnay's ass for saying WWE's fake. I'd watch that shit. WWE is fake. Thank you very much. I know that for a fact.
WWE isn't fake. Cynthia says.
Right?
Oh, boy.
Here we go.
The
Here we
great
go.
debate.
Fight. That's funny. There was one that
Would you kick somebody's ass on TV?
No, I wouldn't be that. I wouldn't want to be known. Maybe younger D would. Younger D would. 'Cause
Drag somebody down
I would. But now,
downstairs.
as I'm a mom, And then that's my thing is I watch some of these and like their parents and I'm like, your kid, this is all forever. Like anything you do on the internet now, even some of these people on TikTok, I'm like, you
might be famous like
a
Cardi
parent.
B. Isn't that how she started? She got up in one of those shows and
hell no. Some of these, how some of these people get famous is crazy. But like we were talking about that one girl yesterday that I had went down the rabbit hole of watching on TikTok, and she's got the tattoos on her face. She's a mom at the end of the day. I know she's younger. I looked her up because I didn't know shit about her. She's only like 23.
yeah.
But I'm like, at the end of the day,
Well,
you're
you have
a
to
mom.
be young to be that ignorant. I mean,
there ain't no way. Even when I was 23, Betty, when you were 23, would you get a tattoo on your face of somebody?
No.
Absolutely
No.
not. Like you could not pay me enough money. That is my big. We've talked about this before.
If I could tattoo my face to look like somebody else, I probably would do that. But not just
The most
add
I ever
another
gotten-
face to my face.
But the
no.
most I've ever gotten tattooed on my face is my eyebrows. I mean, come on. There's no way I'm gonna put a portrait of somebody right here, right here, right.
That's a lot of commitment.
Insane, absolutely insane. And you're walking around like that forever. And I'm somebody I know this is bad to say, and I probably shouldn't care, but I do care what people think.
Yeah.
I'm one that when I walk into a room or I walk somewhere, I'm like, oh shoot, are they looking at me funny? Do I look bad? You know, something like that.
Yeah.
I could never imagine having those god awful tattoos on my face and walking in public and just thinking. You have a whole level of I don't
you're
give
like
a shit.
married to like a really really ugly guy and you're like
No,
you gotta have like you gotta have his face tattooed on your cheek.
no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Ugly, hot or not, I don't care what the hell he looks like.
So
I'm not getting.
the other way, super hot, you wouldn't get his face on your cheek.
No.
What about your butt cheek?
Maybe there, because no
Maybe.
one would see it. No one would see it.
We're trying to figure out where D's gauge is. Okay.
no one would see
Not
that.
my face.
Listen,
but
We've talked about it, though. We've talked
Okay.
about it. I mean, obviously, I have tattoos. That's no doubt. I love tattoos, but you will never see me with anything from my neck up.
Yeah.
Ever. I just, and
Not
there are
your
some
thing.
women and there's some men that can pull it off and they look great.
Yeah.
For me personally, no. It's a no for me. I still, at the end of the day, want to look professional. If I want to go somewhere and I don't want anyone to know I have tattoos, I can easily wear long sleeves and you would never know.
Right.
And that's just me. I guess that's my way of.
Tattoos are more acceptable than they used to be, though.
They're much more acceptable, but
so
I
much more
still don't
acceptable.
feel face tattoos are acceptable. It's my personal opinion. I know some people might come at me for it, and that's fine. It's just my opinion, and I speak for myself. Tattoo your eyeball? Hell no.
Would you tattoo your eyeball? Oh, that's when they look like demons, don't they? When they do like the white.
tattoo under armpit. No, that would hurt. I would cry. I
That
think
would
that
be-
would hurt. That would be painful.
That does look scary. I have a thing about eyes. Like eyes freak me out. Like if like any show that involves like anything going into an eyeball or like, oh, that freaks me out. I could not imagine sitting there for a tattoo of the whites of my eyes, especially I have giant eyeballs.
I don't
That would probably
understand the
take
reason
forever.
for doing that, though.
I don't know.
I just now we're on a
I
whole
guess it's
tattoo
just to freak
ramble,
people
but
out. I don't know.
like that one guy. What is he like? The lizard guy or whatever? and you
Yeah,
have
I guess
the-
if you're going through like a total
implants.
metamorphosis, I don't know. Maybe that's a thing.
But are you gonna be like that for the rest of your life?
Well, I think that when you've
just-
kind of decided to be the lizard man, there's no going back.
There is none.
I
But I
mean-
don't. What if you get tired of being like? That's my thing. You get tired of it, you can't stop.
It's
You
kind of
already
like
look
having a
it.
kid. At that point, you can't do anything about it. It's there.
Well, you got
you got like now
for
you're lizard
18
man.
years. Well, that's only for 18 years. And
Well-
then even so, when you have a kid, they're only dependent on you for so long, and then they kind of become self-efficient, and so it's kind of easy. But
The only thing you could do at that point is just wish for dementia. And then be like, I forgot I look like a lizard.
I just couldn't do it.
Or you wake up in the morning. Could you imagine? Okay, this sounds
Can you
horrible.
imagine that you forgot?
You forget and you wake up and you're like, what the? Oh, that's
What happened? Oh, that's right. I was drunk last night
I'm
and
a
decided to
lizard
get my
man.
eyeballs tattooed.
There's one lady that looks like a demon. And she's been on a few, like, especially the Spanish shows. They love her.
Really?
She's Mexican. I guess she's a trans. Now she's transitioned into a woman, but she doesn't consider herself a woman. She considers herself like a snake or a demon. I don't know what it is. But yeah, she is creepy.
We're going to
She's
be able to,
creepy.
before long, we're going to be able to identify with however you want.
And they do like those under the skin implants where they rise,
No.
like certain things. So it looks like they have,
Horns.
horns
I
or
know.
different like cheek implants, but they're like scaly or whatever. But there's a
Ooh.
bunch. I
Oh.
see a question here from who's
What about inside the
Desi.
lip?
Yeah, she wants to know, would you tattoo inside your lip?
I wouldn't because I think it would hurt. But if you want to go do it, I mean, it's something. My thing is I just want to look professional. I don't want somebody to look at me and just, I don't know. I'm somebody,
I don't know if I
I
would
guess
do my
maybe
lip.
it's my mom's fault. Bless her soul.
If you do the top lip, nobody will see it unless you
The
do
bottom
that.
you wouldn't either unless you pull it down. I mean, unless you talk with your mouth open and you pull your lips down when you talk, you wouldn't be able to see it. My oldest son, he's my bonus son. His cousin on his mom's side, he has a tattoo inside.
Inside his lip?
Yeah, and you can't see it.
Is it painful?
He said it was.
Yeah.
So that's me. I just don't want to go through the pain. I'm good.
Well, I think that would affect your snacking for a while. So, not interested. Next.
And then I mean, there's and there's ones like I've seen, and I've
New
got a
diet
friend.
plan. Tattoo the inside of your mouth, and then you don't eat for a week.
Be a good
That
one.
may be a thing.
Or get your tongue pierced too, because you can't.
Don't take that. Write it down. We're gonna make that a thing.
What?
We're gonna get a TikTok.
Maybe a TikTok.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and just like make it the new business adventure. Tattoo
Dylan,
the inside of
Dylan,
your mouth.
I am not reading that out loud. You
Right,
can
diet.
identify it however you please, but I am not. I'm not reading that one. But,
Dylan.
but the other ones too, yeah. See, like Jamie's saying, like finger tattoos, they fade eventually, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
Like some people get these tattoos. Like my friend Heather and her daughter Peyton, Heather's getting her first. I think she just got her first one, but anywho, Peyton just got a couple tattoos, and she's like, they're addicting, and I'm like, they are.
I love watching this chat because these guys.
Well, Cynthia and
they
Dylan are just going
go
back
at
and
it.
forth, and
They
it's
just
hilarious.
Go at it. So if you guys are not aware and you're just listening to us on the app, which we appreciate that, but if you do the Facebook Live, you can see the comments of these guys that are on here joining us, and they are freaking hilarious. Like the jokes that come out of there are too much. I love it.
Oh.
All right, so
All right, let's change.
let's
So,
go.
a remote tribe in the Amazon rainforest was recently able to access the internet for the first time ever. And they're already grappling with gossip, Instagram, violent videos, scams, and you guessed it, pornography.
Man, always just corrupt.
Right? So this is the first time ever thanks to a satellite, the
Yeah.
Starlink service. So the people in the tribe spending hours a day researching philosophy and medicine? No, of course not. They're internet obsessed zombies just like your kids. And like any parents, tribe leaders say they almost immediately had to institute time limits or nothing would get done. One elder said, in the village, if you don't hunt, fish, or plant, you don't eat.
Oh,
For starters,
get ready, honey. You're about to deal with the crap we deal with.
right? So now they've restricted internet access for 2 hours in the morning and 5 at night and all day on Sunday. So what are they doing on the internet? Exactly what you would expect. The tribe said they're already dealing with group chats full of gossip, addictive social networks, abusive online strangers, hours and hours of sports streaming, violent video games, scams, misinformation, and minors watching pornography. It isn't all that bad, just mostly. The internet does allow the tribe to chat with loved ones living far away, access educational opportunities, share their way of life with others, and has saved lives in emergency situations. Overall, there's mixed reviews. One leader says, I think the internet will bring us more benefit than harm, at least for now. And another one said, when it arrived, everyone was happy, but now things have gotten worse. Young people have gotten lazy because of the internet. Sounds like here. So yeah, they got the internet for the very first time. I thought that's kind of cool. You don't think about stuff like that because we've had. I mean, yeah, we've had the internet since the early 2000s, late 90s, right? Whenever it came about, good old dial-up internet.
Yeah, I would say
and it's taken over.
AOL's chat room.
Oh yeah, I mean, but and I think back to that when we first got the internet. The AOL chat rooms, I was on there chatting with God knows who. And my parents
Creepers.
didn't care. Yeah, my parents didn't care. But now,
Do you remember
we've
your
learned.
AOL name?
I don't. Do you?
Yeah, it's weird.
It's weird.
It
I
was-
mean, if I sat here and thought about it, it was D something. It was D something. It was probably an 8. No. That wasn't popular back then. But I know all those girls had like Angel and all that stuff in her thing. I
Not
don't know.
me. I had Lust Zombie.
Really? Oh, Betty was Betty was
a
Betty was
weirdo.
not always as bougie as she is now, guys. Look at that. Learn something new every day.
That was weird. My friends put that on there because I was a big Cranberry Girl
Okay. All
fan,
right.
so it was
Zombies.
like around the zombie time.
Zombie time. No, I get it.
Yeah.
But I just remember the cool thing was putting your away
Find me on
messages.
AOL.
Your away messages. Those were that's what I remember the
What?
most. You don't remember like your away messages? See, we're a
No.
we're different age, but I remember because when AIM first came out, AOL and the internet, I was in middle school going into high school and stuff like that. So when you had a
Is that
bad
when we still used to still get the disc, like in the mail,
yeah.
the CD?
No, the floppy disk. You got to go back. Floppy disks
Even
were
for
first.
the- oh,
yeah,
jeez.
floppy disks were first.
No, my dad got a bunch of them, like those DVD or whatever CDs, whatever for AOL, and then he turned them into a wind chime because he had no idea what they were for. So we literally had
Oh, wind
a
chime.
bunch of
I love it.
on a fishing string, a bunch of like old AOL
The
like CDs like hanging in the front
I
of our
think you
door.
had to have it to download like the program or whatever.
And I didn't have a computer, so he was like, "Oh look, they keep sending me shiny
But I
things."
think they did used to send them to try and get you to join up. Kind of
Yes.
like now they send
Katie,
you
yes,
text message.
A/S/L.
Your
Do you guys
age,
remember
your-
that?
Yeah, your age, your sex, and your location. I used to
Dang.
lie. I used to lie all the time. But
Were you always 21, even when you were like 14?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because it was cool because you could drink. Or I'd be like 18, 19.
Yeah.
You're a little more, you're fresh, just out of school. But
That's
yeah, I
it.
used to like the away messages because if you were pissed off at someone, you just put an away message up. Or if you got your heart broken, you put an away message up.
Really?
And I miss MySpace. I miss being able to tell people what I really thought
liked
about them
MySpace.
with my top 8.
So here's the thing with the MySpace. I always felt bad with that. So my MySpace, I always like so my friends wouldn't get mad. I'm so weird. I would just put like my family. I'm like family.
Horrible.
Don't really care about them anyway, but whatever, they're there. But I used to just love the fact that you could like make your page like with your own music and your own little backgrounds. And I think mine had like The Cure for a while. I was like that weird girl. So I had like Cure songs and black everything. I don't know. And sparkles.
I love
It
it.
was fun. I miss
There's
it.
a lot of fun things back in the day, but I wonder if that's how it is for them. If I just wonder, like getting the internet for the first time, I guess it'd be different from when we did because we didn't have, all the gossip and the drama, and it was just more.
It was way more fun though.
It was.
It was way more fun. Like MySpace was fun, and everybody had Tom as their best buddy. Like he was on everybody's. He was my first friend, and I think you could still access it now, but it's more music.
Your MySpace, yeah. None of my. I don't remember my login. I can find my profile, but nothing is on
How
there, and it
embarrassing.
makes me
If I
sad.
were to find myself.
I really,
I'll be so
I honestly
embarrassed.
wanted to. When somebody said that they found their MySpace,
Yeah.
I was really hopeful that I would find mine, and I wouldn't care that because we used to like almost dang near be coders. Like you had, I remember
yeah.
my
You used to
profile,
go
the
get
background. You used to get the little
The sparkly
characters,
butterfly.
whatever, all that stuff. And I really didn't care so much for that. I was more curious on like the posts maybe
Sean,
that I
mind your
put,
business.
the pictures. What Sean say?
Sean says Tom was automatically everyone's friend. He was my friend.
He was everyone's first friend, and it was kind of cool. And he had that same profile picture forever. It was kind of creepy though.
Yeah, with the white
Like,
T-shirt and
yeah,
the vest.
yeah. You never change your profile picture. I don't know.
Hi, Chris.
I'm wondering if he was the start of AI. Maybe Tom was the start of AI. Maybe that wasn't
Maybe
really
Tom's
Tom.
behind everything.
He might be.
You know what? If he's smart, he's probably on some island enjoying all his money. That
Did
would
he
be-
even make a lot of money?
I would think so.
I don't know. That'd be good to know.
I mean, MySpace is still going. They're still selling it now. They were
Sean said made me suspicious. I deleted
deleted.
him.
You would too.
You can search on like Facebook for
You
like
would.
Tom or whatever, and you'll find. I'm sure they're all fake, but you'll find profiles and they use that picture. And I
think I'm just gonna create a new Facebook with a Tom picture
are you gonna be a? Are you
And
gonna
I'll
be
be
a
Tom.
troll? You're
Yeah.
gonna be a troll.
for sure.
So listen to this. Another expert, quote unquote, on TikTok revealed why men cheat. She also revealed what women can do to keep their man from cheating. What do you think?
What you can do to keep your man from cheating?
Yeah, let's see what she's got to say.
If you give him money, he's going to cheat. If you give him emotional support, he's going to cheat. If you are nice and reassuring and boring, he is going to cheat. If you bend over backwards and become his mother, always checking in with him if he's eaten, if he slept well, how he's feeling, how work has been, you will also be cheated on. Because men hate reassurance. Men hate commitment and routine. Now here's your secret to keep him happy, not have him cheat on you, is to not give him routine.
Okay.
You need to give this man an element of surprise. And how do you do
I'm
it? By
winning.
always checking in, by not mothering him, by not controlling his actions, by not always reassuring him.
Oh, then I'm doing so good. Because every day, it's a different person that comes out. Like, I wake up as a different
So
person.
I'm curious because I know Sean's
The
in here. I
heck?
know Dylan's in here. Any guys that I'm not reading that one, but no. I mean, obviously,
Dylan!
Dylan. But I was curious about this.
How can I read that it's not that offensive? Okay.
You give him mouth hugs and turkey sandwiches, problem solved.
There you go. That's his advice. That's his dating advice. He's like Dr. Ruth. Like,
I mean, that's some
Yeah.
shit that Mike would say. So I can't even. I can't even argue with
you
that.
already
'cause
heard
it'd
of
be-
my impression of Sean. Make me sandwich.
But that's what it is.
Just
If Mike gets a
kidding.
mouth hug, he's good, and he'll leave me alone, and all's great. I mean, I don't know, because I feel like a guy, Mike always, because he'll get mad at me. He'd be like, "You didn't ask me how my day was."
Really?
Yeah,
Oh wait, I work with
not
Sean.
all the
Never mind.
time, but yeah, you work with him. Mike and I barely see each other. I mean, especially this week. Like, he came home, and I'm like, "All right, I'm out the door. Bye. Love you. See you later." And then this
Yeah.
morning, "Bye. Love you. Have a good day." He was still in bed.
Yeah.
And then it'll be the same kind of song and dance again tonight. But I don't know. Like I try to, but I get tired of Mike if we're around each other too much. We've learned that about each other.
Yeah.
We're good when we have our own little.
You got to give each other space.
Yeah, we have to be away from each other. I think Mike and I could work together because I've always thought about that, like how you and Sean like work
Not
together.
me. I like to suffocate him throughout the day and make him and remind him how many times I'm around. Just randomly.
Sean, blink twice if
I'm
you
here.
need help.
You
Sean, blink
see?
twice if you need help.
You know what the worst part is? He moved my desk.
Away
Like
from
he
you.
literally moved my desk. So he moved my desk to the opposite side and then said because I talked too loud on the phone.
What space?
And he'll go, but you know what? That's fine. That's fine because I hear everything in the office and it just gives me more reason to walk around. So, joke's on you. Joke's on you.
Sean's like, I'm going to try and figure this out. I'm going to put Betty way over there so I
Don't
don't
feel
have to
sorry
hear
for
her.
him. Yeah, don't feel
And
sorry
then
for
he's
him.
like, oh, shit, that didn't work because now
No.
she doesn't stay at her desk.
This is what I'm going to tell you. Don't feel sorry for Sean.
Wait. I have an idea for you.
What?
You need one of those desks that they have like at the hospital.
That you
where they
roll
put their
around in?
Yes,
He's
you
got
need that one.
He's
Oh.
got one of those somewhere in the office.
Yeah, but you need that one because then you don't have to sit still. You can literally just go everywhere. You can migrate to wherever you want to go.
Yeah. But
You want to be right next to Sean? You can be right next to Sean.
this is what I'm going to tell you. Don't feel sorry for Sean. Sean is actually one of the people that I've met with the highest IQ. So all of this that he's gotten himself into, he's very well aware. He has to be. He's a smart guy. So if he was dumb, and I would say, oh, my God, this poor guy. Like, no, he's very aware. Very aware. Met me like this. Decided to still marry me. Good luck.
Oh, I
Love
know
you.
what that is. Sorry, there was a power cord on the floor that was not plugged into anything, and I got really nervous for a second, but then I realized it was to that light. So,
All right,
okay,
let's see. There's a
problem
lot of chat in here. Let's see what's
Read
happening.
that.
Let's see. Let me go
Katie
back in
says that
here.
Arthur doesn't have space either.
No space for Arthur? Good.
Nope, no space. I don't know. I gotta give Mike space because I need my space. I guess that's how I am. I don't like someone to be on top, around me 24/7. Sometimes I just like to be by myself, and I don't know.
Oh, my God. I don't even know what's going on here. Not one single time.
I kind of.
Okay, I'm going to start with Dylan because let's see what's happening here.
Oh, jeez.
Not one single time have I got
Mouth hug.
mouth hug and then thought
Isn't that funny that I already knew what you were trying to make a word for?
then thought about getting strange. Just saying. Okay,
I
thank you, Dylan, for that
can't even.
advice. Sean says, what space?
You don't got none, Sean. It's
He
okay.
says, I got a window and a door. Okay, but I still have you. Dylan says, oh my goodness. Dylan, I don't even know what to say here.
I gotta scroll up.
I'm skipping that one, but you guys might want to read that one on the extreme Florida.
Yeah, I know.
roofing.
You got a window and a door.
Uh-huh. Let's see.
Joseph's true.
What did
Do
Joseph
things
say?
that you did when you first met him, and that's what's going to keep him around. And I agree with that. We've talked about that before. You can't let the spark die out.
Right.
You can't. You still have to keep it. Now, I get it. As we get comfortable with somebody, like I always laugh. Like I look back at pictures of when Mike and I first started dating. We were both really skinny and we looked good. And I'm like, oh, we've hit that point of life where we became very comfortable with each other. And I don't really care what I look like because,
Yeah.
you know, I don't need anyone to look at me. I've got my husband at home. So
I was fluffy when he met me, so there ain't
Well,
no shock
you
here.
know.
so Joseph
You
also
said
said, women marry men hoping they'll change them, and men marry women hoping they never change. That is a very, very true concept there.
that is. But then there are also some men that think they can change women too.
Yeah.
That they think that they can make a hoe into a housewife. And yeah, it usually doesn't work out. So
Right.
that's how it goes.
All right. Wow, relationships are complicated.
They are. You just got to put work in. That's all. Yeah, and I'm not
Have
reading
fun.
Dylan's stuff.
Don't forget to have fun. That's
You do.
That's something that people forget.
You have to have fun. You have to laugh
You
with
have
each other.
To have fun. And don't take anything too serious. Like
No.
you have to be able to laugh at yourself when you're stupid, and you have to, and the other person has to be able to laugh with you and at you and not be
Oh, yeah.
offended. Like it's all part of, coexisting.
Well,
like
and-
why
and-
would you want to be? Would you? Okay, just because you're married doesn't mean like, oh yay, we're married now. Let's be miserable. I mean,
Oh, no.
if you had a roommate and that roommate made you completely miserable, and they were
You're
just
gonna find a new
arguing
place
and
to live.
fighting and growing, would you be there? You
No, I'd
wouldn't
find a new
tolerate
place
it.
to live. I'm done.
So, like, it doesn't have to be nasty. It could be fun. It could be great. I mean, there's a lot of things that happen. And life is gonna happen.
Oh,
If
yeah.
you're waiting for bad things to happen, life is gonna happen. Don't worry. Just sit around and wait. It's gonna be there. So,
That's true.
don't be each other's enemy. Like,
No.
it's the way I look at it. It's like you two against the world.
And you can't force stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
you just, things are not working, and just go your separate ways. I know it sucks. I know it's hard, but guess what?
That's, I think, one of the
There are
biggest
people out there.
mistakes people make is they stay too long.
Yeah.
They stay too long, and then
It gets harder when you stay too long.
You
Like, if you
let-
stay too long, it gets a lot harder to leave.
yeah, especially if you're dating. Like, if you're married and you made a commitment, all those things, and I'm saying, work on it, go to therapy, do whatever it is you can do, take care of
You
your
truly
kids.
want to be with them.
Absolutely. Like, I'm not an advocate for, like, yeah, he pissed you off, run away. Like, that's not
Yeah,
okay.
no, I'm not either.
But if you're dating someone, that's kind of like, this is like your trial run. Like, okay, like,
Oh, yeah.
if I see you every time, we're going to have a problem, like, 4 out of, 7 days is a problem. That may not be a good situation. Just
No.
saying, just putting it out there. You may want to rethink that.
So I've got some. I don't think we have a little. Let me find his little sound effects. I've only played one today. I don't even know what all these are. I might get scared if I push something, but I'm not. No, we don't want that one. We don't want that one yet. I don't know where he finds his shower thoughts. Oh wait, in his shower. So I'm not going into Big Mama's shower to get those today. Oh well, I don't think there is anything. He's got somebody up here. Anyways, we've got some weird stories since it is our Wildish Wednesday. A rare Boba Fett action figure sells for a record-breaking $525,000.
Really?
Yep, an extreme rare Star Wars Boba Fett action figure measuring just 3.75 inches tall was auctioned for $525,000. Heritage Auction announced the action figure is now the world's most valuable vintage toy after fetching the massive sum, which includes the buyer's premium at the May 31st Star Wars Signature auction. The action figure took the record from a Barbie bearing a 1-carat diamond that sold for $302,000 in 2010. The hand-painted rocket-firing bounty hunter is one of only 2 surviving examples made for Kenner's line of Star Wars toys in 1970s. The Boba Fett figures were pulled from the production line before making it to the market. A different Boba Fett toy was released in 1979, sold for just over $84,000 in the May 31st auction.
So,
And it's still sealed in its original packaging and was given a 95 grade by the Action Figure Authority.
Sean says, send him a picture. He'll print those all day. He has a 3D printer. He'll be printing that thing all day long. And we can sell those.
Start printing them.
New business.
Can you print the packaging as well too? That'd be
We're
great.
in.
So listen to this. And this is sad. And I wasn't going to read this because Betty knows. And if you're friends with me on Facebook, you know, yesterday we We had the funeral we had the funeral for my uncle. He passed away a week ago, actually, today, and it was very unexpected. But if you knew my uncle, he was funny. You know, he was my favorite uncle. He was the one when I was little. He would pay me $5 to say his name. Every time I'd say, Uncle Ernie, say Uncle Ernie. And he'd pay me $5. And they're also my aunt and uncle that when we lived in Ohio growing up, we used to come down here to Cape Coral and visit them for Christmas. We'd stay with them and all that. So very, very close to me.
That was your introduction to Florida.
It was. So we have got so many good memories. But the story, a family hosts a funeral for 500 guests after dad dies suddenly. Okay.
500.
So you see, you know, it sounds like it's going to be a big one. Mm-hmm. All of that. But it was actually not a funeral. It was a funeral. Fun. A family grieved, the loss of an important family member by hosting a party in his honor, named a Fun Earl. Katie Young from Mesa, Arizona, recently lost her 39-year-old husband, Brandon Young. He had a hemorrhage stroke, which this made me sad because that's what my dad died of, actually, too. Or not died of, but he had. And my uncle, that we're assuming this is what happened, on his brainstem on May 3rd as a result of high blood pressure, something Katie said her husband had struggled with since a teenager. Doctors were never able to help him and get his blood pressure under control, she said, which resulted in additional strokes and Brandon Young passing away on May 17th. A dad to the couple's 3 children, Brandon was known as the kindest person, Katie said. The Young family planned what they deemed a fun funeral. I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but instead of a funeral, it's a fun, with all things that Brandon loved and adored. The dad of 3 was a natural artist, so Katie Young said the idea started with having art supplies for guests to use. Katie also noted that her husband loved popsicles, often eating 6 or 7 at a time, so those were the must-haves at his funeral. Over 500 people showed up to the event at the Young's home. I just thought that was really kind of cool because
I would do that.
That's what I want. After reading
that,
that's what I want. Because look, I grew up Catholic, and we're not getting religious. But I grew up Catholic. I went to a Catholic school and all that. But my uncle's service yesterday was at a Catholic church, and it was a beautiful service. You know, nothing to take away from
everybody has their preference. I think I would just even though I was brought up Catholic, and all that stuff, and I did all the things that they make you do, you know, baptism, and all that. I think I would probably like a funeral.
That's what I want. Well, and
funeral.
And when I tried to explain to Colin, because Colin, he didn't
Wait
grow
a
up
minute, I
Catholic.
wouldn't even really be there, but it don't matter.
You're still gonna be there. We're still gonna be there. I'm gonna haunt my things. I'm gonna haunt every event.
Oh yeah.
But I was trying to.
If I go, everybody's getting haunted. Just so you know, if I know you, you're probably gonna get haunted.
Yeah, that's gonna be me. But I was trying to explain to Colin that a Catholic mass for a funeral, because he's never been to. He's been to a Catholic mass, but he was very, very little and doesn't remember. And I said, well, a funeral is basically a Catholic funeral is basically that. It's just like a Sunday mass. Right. You know, you go through the whole motions and all that, and there's a little blurb in there that the priest says about, you know, whoever has passed. And I don't like that. I want it about me.
You want it more
like
personal.
I want it more personal. I want it to be told, like, you know, I want anyone that feels comfortable, you know, that has a funny story or something like that, or, you know, a good memory, whatever the case. Get up and talk.
One of my very, very close friends who passed away last year, and I absolutely love her. You may have known her too. She used to frequent Brooks a lot. Was a very, very popular lady in our area here. She was on the board with the Bobby Holloway and Cindy Trimmel. We call her Fireball. She was a blast. Like, she was just a blast. And I'll tell you, when she had an impact on so many people that her funeral is more a celebration of life, not necessarily a funeral. Yeah. And I'll tell you, like, the pictures, the conversations, we were talking about how sparky, and I mean, like, she was like the most kindest, sweetest person, but you didn't mess with her. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she will put you in your place, like, faster than, like, before your next breath, you know? But she was, at the same time, was the most sincere and genuine person. Like, she was just lovable. She's just, like, I would see her and I would say, man, if I could be, like, a quarter of the person that you are, like, I would consider myself successful in this world, you know? Because she was loved by so many people. And, I mean, I get teary-eyed thinking about her.
Oh, don't do that.
No, but I'll tell you, like, seeing people talk about her and how spunky she was And, you know, when I met her, I was working for a circuit judge, which I worked for judges for about 14 years in the legal system here. So, we had a lot in common. Like, we were like pod mates. Like, her office was next to my office, and then we were like those people that would just like swing the door open and yell at each other from like, what are you doing?
What are you doing over there? You okay?
What's for lunch? You know, like we were, like I would walk in, I'll be like, what are we doing for lunch? And she's like, Betty, it's 7:58. I'm like, I know.
I love it. I love that you've never changed. You've always thought about food first thing in the morning.
7:58. What are we doing for lunch?
What are we doing for lunch?
Like, I need to plan my day around this. Like, am I gonna have coffee now, or am I gonna wait? Like, are we doing a big thing, a little bit? So she already knew. She was like my mom. She was like my work mom, you know.
Yeah.
And I just say, like, having those kind of things. Like, I was sad, but to be honest, when I left her memorial or her
I felt happy.
I loved. I felt so proud of her. You know what I mean? Like, I felt so proud because I was like, look at all these judges, police officers, attorneys,
that all showed
these
up.
people that showed up because you were just a good person.
Good person, yeah.
You know,
And
I
that's-
love that. She
and
had like over
that's-
500. Like, I wouldn't doubt she was the whole parking lot was
500.
full.
Yeah.
At least.
And that's what, when I read that story, I'm like, oh, this is kind of sad. You know, I just went through this whole thing. Like, you know, this has been my past week is because I've been helping my aunt as much as possible. Because, you know, you don't plan for something like this. And my aunt she's older, you know, so she doesn't, you know, she's not as technical advanced. You know, if my dad was listening, he would tell you, like, she's the one that when something happens with her computer, it's something simple. Like, she ran out of memory and she had too many pictures because my aunt's the picture taker. She'd call me to fix stuff. So I just kind of stepped in, you know, and I started helping her and stuff. And so this last week's been crazy. And I was like, you know, reading that story and I'm like, oh, do I want to talk about it? I'm like, yeah, you know, I do, because I think that it's actually fun that they did something like that where they made it more personal. And then, you know, it got my dad and I talking too, you know, about what he wants. But I say that's what I want. I want a fun funeral. Don't be sad. Don't cry. Just have a good time. But moving on.
Yeah, so let's pop in here real quick.
Oh, yeah.
I'm seeing Cynthia says, I don't even think 50 people would show up for me. Damn, Cynthia. I want to,
You know what? It's not about
that.
you know,
I'm like, I always wonder who would actually show up for me. I'm like, I'd probably be there by myself.
But you know what? You know, going with that, there's an
Be there
important
by
thing
myself.
there. It's just like friendships. I don't want 500 people to show up for me that were not 500 people that showed up for me when I was alive. If you're going to show up for me, you better have been in my life. You better have been there for me. You better have cheered me on, whatever the case. Don't just show up to, quote unquote, you know, chase your clout kind of, because
I want to wear like a quinceañera dress. Like, I want to be, I want the whole thing about me. I want a crown. I want a quinceañera dress. I want butterflies.
You're like, this is about me.
We're going to make this, I'm going to make everybody uncomfortable.
This
like,
is about me.
No, it's about making everybody uncomfortable. They're going to be like, what the
That's true.
freak is going on here? All right, and Dylan says he can't have a funeral because if they bring the things that I love, it'll just be a bunch of
Yeah, you can't even read it.
titties and little
You can't
and
even
little
read it.
Debbies. I don't even know.
can't
Is
even read
that a
it.
bad thing? Because I don't even know. Okay.
I'm not reading it.
Sean
So-
says no funeral for me. Just start my text campaign.
And then I saw what he said later, that it's dark in here.
Yeah. What did you guys do to me? It's dark in here. So yeah, I'm in for a good plan here.
I love it.
We've
So,
got
we're going to have Tommy coming in here soon. But
Yeah.
a man mistakenly drives stranger's car after picking up pizza. Vincent Zabata was on his way home after picking up a pizza when he realized he was not in his car. The Montana man accidentally drove a vehicle that was identical to his. He drove right back to the parking spot and returned the vehicle. Turns out Zapata was driving Cynthia Fisher's vehicle. I'm just embarrassed for leaving my key in the car, she said. I always thought having the dog in the car would protect the car, but he's not much of a guard dog.
Wait, there was a dog in the car?
Yeah.
So he drove off with his pizza in the car, in her
pizza
car,
and
and
her
dog.
And her dog.
And
But
didn't
you know-
realize it.
But you know, I did this before. I went to Sam's Club and I have a blue Telluride, and I was going to load up my groceries and I just saw a blue Telluride and I assumed it was mine, and they must not have locked theirs. And I opened the back and then I'm looking and I'm like, wait, same interior, but they had like some box or something in the back, and I'm like, this isn't my damn car. And I hurried up and I shut the door and like I was like, okay, where's mine? So I mean, I've done it before, but I don't think I would have ever realized that I took somebody's car with their dog in it.
Yeah.
That's a little too much. And don't leave your dang
And what
keys
kind
in the
of
car.
dog was it? Like, was it like not moving?
It's obviously not a very.
Like, my dog would be on their lap, like, in their ear.
My dog would have.
breathing in their
My
nose.
dog would have bit the crap out of them.
No, my
but,
dog's an idiot. He would have
Yeah.
been like, hey, you look like you're fun, and you got pizza. Let's hang out. Like, that's my dog. My dog is that dog.
So, do you like to hug people, Betty?
I do. I love hugs.
So, an Algerian man was recently convicted of indecent behavior and sentenced to 2 months behind bars. Forget this. Hugging random people on the street to spread peace and positivity.
Wait, he was just, like, going up to them and just hugging them?
Well, he was
Without permission?
Mohammed is a 30-something vlogger who sparked outrage in his home country last summer by posting a TikTok video inspired by a popular European vlogger, which I've seen this guy who hugs, he's famous for doing social experiments about hugging random people on the street.
Yeah.
Only this kind of thing apparently is a no-no in Algeria.
You can't just hug people.
Nope. The footage has sparked outrage and attracted, commendation from the general public. Last year, a court found him not guilty on all charges, but his case was then referred to the Algerian Judicial Council after prosecutors appealed the decision, and this time was found guilty. Prosecutors charged the guy with indecent behavior for his public hugging clip and with the display of indecency for another video that featured 2 girls wearing short skirts and one who also had a tattoo. According to the court's decision, Mohammed must spend 2 months in jail and pay a fine of 5 million dinars, which is equal to $37,000 here in America.
Oh, wow.
So that's sad. I mean, for hugging people.
That is not cool. All right, we got Tommy in here.
Yeah, so while Betty gets Tommy, I'll let you know that Instagram is introducing a major change. Meta is testing a feature which introduces unskippable ads into users' Instagram feeds, which encountered these ads display a timer and prevent the user from scrolling past until the time is elapsed. Similar to on YouTube, the feature which Instagram calls on an ad break was first spotted over the weekend by a user who called Change Bonkers. And on social media, Instagram users are already threatening to quit the social media platform altogether if the change becomes permanent. So, all right, guys, we're going to take a quick little break while we get Tommy in here, and we will be
Mama Radio. And now the Financial 15.
Hey, we want some money.
With NFL superstar and financial planner Tommy Bohannon.
Hey, money, money, hey, money, money, hey.
Are you ready for retirement? Do you need cash?
Cash out, no limit.
Because your financial future starts now.
Bang, bang, bang. Let's get it.
On Big Mama Radio.
I had to remember which one you're on. You're on my
money.
old one. I'm like, because he's got everything
I love
marked,
that intro.
but it's all messed up. So it is a good intro. It is a good intro. Well, Tommy,
Good morning.
good morning. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good, good. Missing Big Mama. I don't. This is some big shoes to fill here, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. But I did. We were just chit chatting because I was like, I don't even know how he gets his financial questions or anything like that for you, but we're friends on Facebook, so I know that you have a big camp coming up. Is it this weekend?
It's next weekend.
Next weekend.
So next Saturday is our annual free football camp for the Tommy Bohannon Foundation.
Love it. And it's out at North Fort Myers High School.
It is, yeah.
Yep.
So at North High, we get Tropical Smoothie donates all the food and smoothies for the kids. The Lee County Sheriff's Office is bringing out the ice cream truck. So it's going to be, thank you.
Can I just show up for the ice cream?
Is it too late to sign up?
You're right. I'll do
there
the
an
drills.
age restriction?
I'll
That's
do
all
the
I want to
drills.
be.
Now, there is an age restriction. What is the ages that
So
they can
we
do?
do 1st through 8th grade are the actual campers. And then the high school age kids actually get to come out and volunteer, and they get to be pretty much mentors for those younger kids.
I love
So
that.
the adult coaches are at each station. So they always stay at the same station, and then the kids move around. The high school age kids are actually responsible for their
Their
group.
group. Nice.
And it's pretty cool to see because at the beginning of the day, they're kind of standoffish. And by the end of it, these little kids just have truly bonded with these high school age kids. And it's truly incredible to see. It's always the hottest day of the year for
Of
whatever
course,
reason.
Of course.
But so what we end up doing is for every, we basically do a 1-to-1 ratio. They'll be on playing for 15 minutes, and then we do a 15-minute break.
That's
and
cool.
and I'm pretty strict with you have to sit down, take
Drink
your water,
Mhm.
eat a snack, whatever it is,
Yeah.
and then go.
Hydrate.
Nice. Yes, hydrate's
Exactly.
important. Our oldest son, he graduated from North last year, so he was on the football team, obviously. So he got to be involved with you for the 4 years prior to that, and he loves kids, but it's funny that you say it. Like high schoolers, they're so standoffish at first. They
Right.
don't know what to do. They're like, oh my gosh, a bunch of little kids. But then once they start going through those drills with them, and they start to realize that they're football drills, what they do pretty much every single day,
Exactly.
that they loosen up, and then that these kids, the good thing is that these kids idolize. I remember being a kid, because I played softball, and when I did softball, and I was learning, and we had to learn from the older kids. You idolize them. You're like, I want to be just like them someday.
Right.
They look like they're giants. That they're they're huge.
And I mean, the kids these days are bigger than I am, and I played professional football, so it's pretty crazy to see because these kids just keep getting bigger and bigger. But yeah, I mean, and that's kind of the idea behind it is these kids go and watch Friday Night Football. They see Friday Night Lights and all that, and they idolize these kids. So if we can have them take a step back and give their time, and they're getting volunteer hours too. So we sign off on all the volunteer hours for the high school age kids, and they get to have these relationships with these kids, and then you can see them on the sideline. They can say, hey, I was with them all day.
Yeah.
I was like, and it's pretty cool to see because like I said, they truly form these bonds, and we always do a relay race at the end to kind of see who eats first.
Yeah.
And you'll see the high school kids really start
like,
cheering
pumping
on
them
the
up.
kids,
Yeah.
and it's pretty cool to see.
I just love it because, like I said, I remember being that young kid, and I'm like, oh, I want to be just like her someday, and that's what I think back. And whenever our oldest was going, because it's always in the summer after school, and it's literally right before summer workouts start for the high schoolers because you probably don't know, and football down here is just, it's insane. And we're a football family because my husband Mike coached, Pop Warner and stuff. So all of his kids that he coached now just graduated pretty much.
Did you just tell me I don't know?
I didn't say you didn't know football, but
But
your
you're
son,
absolutely right. I don't
you
know.
don't. So
But
see, I was right. Dang it. But
Pretend please.
Hey, no.
Then I know what I'm talking about.
Be thankful. Be thankful that Jonathan, and maybe he will go into sports. Who knows? But I'm just
he's
saying,
thinking about it.
football is a different world. I learned that when our oldest Ethan went off to high school, and as a mom, when your child can't drive yet,
you become the
you
taxi.
have to get up at the butt crack of dawn and take these kids to the high school for summer workouts. And I didn't realize that because we didn't do stuff like that when I was in high school. I don't know if North did that when you were there.
So we did it different though, because the high school kids now, I think they have to be there at like 6 or 7 a.m.
It's early.
Wow.
Where with us, it was always after work. Our coaches gave us time to work during the day, but you had to be off by 5 p.m.
Yeah.
I think our workout started at 6, which was better because then it's cooling off. It's not as hot. And so
I think that's why they try doing it in the morning because the sun's not as hot. It's better to do it then than do it at noon when it's the hottest it can be. But
I mean, it didn't give me a break. I was outside pouring concrete and then going.
So there you go. So
you
had to work out all day long in the summer, but it's a lot. So I mean, for these kids, I know with Ethan when he was going to do these, we were trying to I remember me because at the first 2 I had to drive him, and I used to tell him because you gotta get up early. School just got out, and you're like, oh, it's the weekend, all this stuff. And I'm like, be thankful that you get to be involved in this. And I told him those things. Like, you have to think back to when you were a little kid, even when you were playing Pop Warner, and you would go and watch these high schoolers play, and you're like, I want to be like him someday. This is now it's that full circle. Now you get to be that big kid that these little guys want to be like. So embrace that and try and give them, the motivation to keep into it because.
You get out of it what you put into it.
Of course.
And I think that's with anything. So, I mean, and I hope the high school age kids listen to what I say at the end as well, because I do a big speech and I talk about goal setting. I talk about the things that got me to where I am today and how I reached my goals and how I never quit doing the things that I needed to do in order to succeed. And I think that might be the most important part of it, because it's hard to talk to the first graders, obviously.
Yeah.
But
because they're still immature, and they don't take football for them. It's just fun. You're just running around. They don't get the whole concept of.
But as they grow and as they get older and more mature, I hope that they really take the things that I say to heart, because
you're planting a seed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where if they can truly do the things right and start a routine early on in life and just carry on with it, they're going to be more successful. And that's what it's all about.
Yep. Kelly brings up a good thing, and I don't know much about this, but I'm sure you might do. She says, how do you all feel about high schoolers making money from the NIL? High schoolers can make money now from the NIL? So
that just got passed in Florida, I believe, yesterday.
Really? Okay. See, this is you got to bear with me.
So
I didn't look at news at all yesterday.
So it's very new, but it's hard. I think once you go to college, it makes sense. I mean,
because you get their jerseys, you get all their memorabilia. That makes sense.
Like, I remember being on billboards in college and things like that I would have been paid for back then.
That you weren't.
If these deals were in place. But for high school age kids, I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, is there really a market for it? I mean, obviously for these big 5-star players and things of that nature, maybe.
Yeah.
And there was always backroom neighborhood deals that helped kids out and things like that. But for me, I think it's a blurred line. It's hard to say, hey, these kids should be getting paid, a couple $100,000 in high school because they're good athletes.
Well, and here's the thing. I mean, and this is me because I know you went a lot farther in your athletic career than I did. I only went into college because back then softball didn't have what they have now. But I'm thinking back to when I played in high school, and I'm like, I just worry that these kids will get drowned by the money. That when they're in high school and you're a good player and now you're getting thrown this money, you're not thinking about, because we all know, especially with football, you get injured and your career, you don't have a long career. It's a few years and then you're too broken to play. So you have to have a fallback plan. Most of them, not all. Obviously, if you're a really good football player, you're going to make enough money and you can live off of that. But I just fear that these kids don't have a backup plan. And now you're throwing money at them and they're like, oh, cool, I get paid to play sports.
Well, and the thing, too, is and from my perspective, I see it as, okay, now this kid's making more than the coach. How is that coach actually going to mold this kid? How is he going to teach him and do, or her, and do the things that are needed to, in order to make them truly succeed further than high school or college? And so there's always been that power struggle with the star athletes.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know,
they know that they're good.
Right. Some listen, some pay attention, but there's always been a leniency for the star athlete. Now, if they're getting paid hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars, whatever it is in high school, how are these kids going to mature? How are they going to, you know, truly understand the value of putting in hard work and doing the things that they need to do in order to truly succeed? Because high school and college isn't the goal for most of these kids. It's the profession.
Pros, yeah.
And like I tell all the kids in our camps and everything like that, less than 1%, because 1% of high school athletes go and play college football at any level. Of that 1%, less than 1% go and play professional football. So if you're getting paid all this money early, what is the incentive?
Yeah.
What are you going to truly do to put in the work to succeed?
So let's look at it, because you're obviously our financial guy. So let's say that these kids do. Let's say some local kids here in Southwest Florida get paid a good amount of money. What would you suggest for them to do with that money?
Put it away. Act like it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, obviously, if, you know, you're getting paid and your family's struggling or whatever it is, then obviously you're there to help out. But at the end of the day, if you don't truly need that money, put it away and, you know, do the things that you've been doing your whole life. Live on what you can, not in an excess. Don't go buy, you know, gold chains and fancy
live
cars.
Like a baller before you are a baller. You know,
you're still a high school kid.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, yeah. And Kelly says, do you think this will ruin the drive of a player now being paid? Potentially.
It's hard. I think it changes the attitude. I don't think it ruins the drive. I think the ultimate goal will still be the ultimate goal of going to, but does it ruin the drive of, okay, now I have to make it. I have to help my family. I have to do these things in order to succeed. Maybe.
Yeah.
Now, you know, there's always going to be those special people that, you know, are going to put in the work no matter what. They have a love for it. They're going to put in the work, but there's also going to be the people that, you know, for lack of a better term, just get rich and
then they already think that they're it.
Yeah.
And that's what we were, Mike and I, you know, my husband, we see some kids, you know, because like I said, he's coach, and you know, I try and tell kids, like, I see a difference in this generation too, just in the fact, you know, I grew up in Ohio and I wanted to be a good softball player. I wanted to go to college and play softball. I wanted to, and I would get up in the winter where it was cold and I would go for runs. I would do everything I could to make sure that I was prepared. And nowadays, I'm not saying all, because there are some kids that will go out and put out the work, but there's a majority of them that just think, I'm a big kid. They need me. I'm not gonna do anything extra. And I think, it's mind-boggling to me, because I even told Mike that, why aren't some of these coaches harping on them to do that? Because it's not just, and when you look at it, you're thinking, oh, well, you're just trying to make them a good player. No. I'm trying to teach them that hard work equals that you're going to do good things in life.
Right.
You got to put hard work into your jobs, your careers, everything down the line for the rest of your life. So start now when you're a kid.
Right.
And that was kind of touching on what you said, because now if you pay them, well, they get money and they're just like, oh, well, this is cool. All I got to do is just put in the effort that I'm already putting in. Let's say they're only putting in that minimum effort. That's all they're going to continue to do. And now you're paying them and they're like, this is great.
So I'm gonna play devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the pay and stuff like that, one of the things that I kind of think about, that I just thinking out loud, is, you know, like sometimes there's quality people out there that unfortunately get injured and their career didn't even have a chance to start.
Right.
That person getting paid for what they were doing, and then having, unfortunately, out of no control of their own, not being able to move forward in their career. I'm like, that guy deserved a paycheck.
Right.
Like,
and they
you know what I mean? Like,
well, so, and then
I don't know.
for that instance, so if you think, okay, especially in college, but there's insurance programs for that. You can insure your knees, you can insure your hips, and so if you get injured and you can't go, anymore, then you could still get paid out because that's what those insurance policies are set up for. So, that's more in line with things that a lot of the top draft picks and things of that nature have been doing that for 50 years or so, where they've been insuring body parts and come back to school.
Can you do that too, like as a financial planner? Like, how you can insure your life or whatever. Can you insure like certain body parts through what you guys do?
So I cannot, but I have different people that I know and I had the same insurance policies. If I got hurt on the field, I got paid out. So I had those policies, and so I can't write them or anything of that nature, but there are people out there that can, and there's companies that are able to do that.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, what can
you insure?
Put coverage on?
What can you insure?
What can I put coverage on?
Your football camp's next weekend, next Saturday?
Next Saturday.
At North Fort Myers High School. Can people still register right now?
Yeah, so you can go to our website, TommyBohannonFoundation.org. I believe we're about at the limit, so if you want your kids to go, make sure you go on that website now and register as soon as possible.
How many kids do you get in that program?
So we try to cap it around 300. We're being a little bit more lenient this year. We have a few more than 300 right now, so we're trying to be a little bit more lenient, but we will cap it soon, just so that we can keep the quality and we don't overrun the coaches that are giving their time as well.
Right. Wow.
So now the coaches, is that all North staff, or do you bring in other coaches as well?
So we have high school coaches from around the area, not just North. Basically, the schools that we typically interact with on a day-to-day basis. So we typically have Riverdale, we have Dunbar, we have North Fort Myers, then we have firefighters, we have guys that come out that have played college football, that have played professional football, all types of different things. So it's a vast array of coaches and expertise that it's really cool to see.
And I'm going to be the one. Are girls allowed?
They are.
Awesome.
Nice.
So if you got a daughter that's in football, listen, I'm passionate about football and I love it. Bring them out. It's good.
We typically have anywhere from 15 to 20 girls every year.
Love that. I absolutely do. I love that because it, there's over the years that Mike's coach, and that I've, either been his team mom or, I've been involved in one way or another. We've always had a couple girls, and I absolutely love it because some of them girls are tougher than the boys. Like they will go out there and they will hit harder than the boys. And Mike was always one. He loves to encourage that because you want to see them. We always see that, football's always been primarily just a male sport. And now we're seeing that evolve more, that now there's flag football in high school, for girls.
Right. My niece was actually on the Riverdale High School team.
Really?
They almost went to the state championship for that.
I absolutely
that's awesome.
love it. And this area, from what I've seen, because Colin was playing baseball because it was spring. He was my 15-year-old was playing baseball, excuse me, while they were having flag football going on, and Colin would be like, "Mom, you didn't even see my hit," because I was like focused on the girls because it's just so cool to see that it evolved. Because when we were in high school, they didn't have anything like that. You were not. We had powder puff, for homecoming. That was it, and it was a laughing, matter. It wasn't anything taken serious.
With the guys with the skirts on and all
yeah,
that.
I mean, it was a mockery, and now it's like you can actually see that these girls have something that they can, they're one step closer to actually having a, football team just for the girls in high school tackling, because now you have the WFA. There's a lot of smaller organizations too for women's, professional tackle football. And I think it's cool. And there are also, I just saw down in Naples, one of the girls that I used to play football with, she's actually a coach for the flag football. They have international teams now for flag football for women.
And the NFL is doing a huge thing about it too. And there's 7-on-7 flag tournaments and
Love it.
So if I wanted to bring a team up to Jacksonville and play in the Jaguar Stadium, they have tournaments there all the time and things like that. So that may be something that we do in the future. And I think it's really cool. And I think the state of Florida as a whole has really done a good job of opening up all the sports.
Yeah.
So, I mean, now we have flag football. We have lacrosse for boys and girls. We have weightlifting, which we never had weightlifting.
Even wrestling.
Down here. So,
wrestling girls. There are girls that are like killing it in
Kelly
state
Barnes
championships.
wants to know, do you have any association with any soccer camps?
I do not. We sponsor, what is it? I think it's, I don't even know. We sponsor a few of the different programs through it. I can't remember what the names are. I think it's maybe Cyclones or one of those other ones like that. But we help out where we can, and we sponsor the Mariner girls soccer team every year. So we have some affiliation to soccer, but I don't know any of the summer camps or anything like that.
Definitely, there's a lot. I know there's in Cape Coral. I think it is the Cyclones. They have camps going like nonstop because Colin played for them before high school, and I still get all the emails from them, about all the different camps.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, realistically, if your kid has an interest in any sport, just Google it. Cape Coral soccer camps or things like that.
Yeah.
And honestly, there's probably 100 of them.
And there's probably tons going on right now that school is out. This is the time to get the kids into camps and stuff like that because parents want them out of the house. We're done.
And I know like the Lee County Parks and Rec, they have huge summer camps that are all revolving around all the sports and different things like that. So, I mean, there's tons of camps out there that will make sure that your kids are active.
Yeah,
that's the biggest thing.
And I think it's important, even if your kid is not, the most athletic, because let's be real, a lot of kids, there's some that just don't have any care for it, but at least try to get them to try it.
Right.
You never know. They might like it. And plus, it gets their body moving and gets them out of the house. Too many kids I see now are just sitting in front of this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This all day long. Get out.
My
and
daughter's
play
3
and do
years
stuff.
old. I already got her a tee and a softball and a bat and all
There
that.
you go.
And she's ready to go.
And I did.
Go.
That's what Mike and we've been all softball. I was kind of sad that the Florida Gator girls didn't win yesterday. It was a tough game, but we're also, he's like, he loved watching Florida Gators because he's a Florida Gator fan. And me, I just love watching softball because I played collegiate softball, and I'm like, this is just life, like right now. And so he was asking me all the questions, and things have evolved because we were even just watching last night, and I'm like, or actually it was before, it was during, the regionals and stuff, and I'm looking at the pitch count because I was a pitcher, and I'm like, how does she have that many? And I've been so out of it, and then I looked it up, and now the pitch counts have changed since I've been in. So the sports world is evolving, and it's a good thing. I love it.
Right.
So
well, like Wake Forest, where I went, we don't have softball, but we have now the first in the nation pitching lab, I guess is what they call it, and they keep their pitchers on a strict pitch count, no matter what. So I think they don't get over 80 pitches in any game. And it's pretty cool to see because we had one of the best pitchers in the nation last year that got drafted, I think, first or second overall. And it was because of that pitching lab.
Yeah.
And there's no wear and tear on his arm, really, because they're limiting how many pitches that he gets.
Well, and that's what Mike was talking because he's like, well, okay, I know you're a pitcher. You went to the collegiate level, and I'm like, in my personal opinion, just what you said, I think there should be a pitch count no matter softball, baseball, doesn't matter. There's a pitch count because I can't tell you how many times, like, I go like this, and I'm like, oh, like, you feel something now as I'm getting older. But if I didn't have that pitch count, because I was the kid, like the girl that is pitching for Florida, keep me in. I got it. I'm going to do it. Like, that was my mentality. I want to keep playing. Nope, I'll finish this out. And if you don't have that, excuse me, that's what these kids are going to do. They're just going to be like, nope, they're going to beat their bodies, and then they're going to get older. And for girls, now they're starting to bring softball into more of, long-term after collegiate. They have a professional.
Right.
But before that, even, you get out of college, and then you start your life, and you have kids, and then now your body is broken. And like you said, when you're playing professional, you have that insurance, but what happens when you don't? You don't have that insurance, and now your
My body hurts every day.
Yeah, so now you're hurting. So
these knees and hips and shoulders and everything.
But
they actually have, in other countries, they have men's softball, fast pitch softball. I didn't know that until I found it somehow I found it on social media the other day. And there was this guy that was a pitcher, and it was the most weirdest form that I've ever seen. He would actually, while he was going and doing his underhand, he would jump. And
Really?
He would end up like 30 feet away.
you're not alled to do that in women's softball. Your foot has to stay on the ground. There's techniques to it. They wouldn't allow it. But
I don't know, but it was crazy to see. But yeah, so I guess there's men's leagues in other countries and everything. Is that?
It's evolving because even now my TikTok and everything is filled with softball because I'll start liking all of it and stuff. And there was a girl. She's now a professional softball pitcher, and she was actually pitching to the MLB players. And they were trying to hit off of her, and they were doing, counts. They had like the automated. They were in like a batting cage, but they had automated, if they hit so far that it would count as a single, double, whatever.
Like the hit tracks thing.
Yeah, and it was interesting to watch, and these guys were scrambling. Now, mind you, this girl was pitching, on the faster end of fast pitch. Her pitches were averaging around 70 miles per hour. But in baseball, we all know that those balls go 90 miles an hour.
But it's the reaction time.
It is
so,
the reaction.
like, it's the same thing as whenever you watch the Little League World Series and they give you the MLB equivalent. It's that same thing. So if a pitcher for softball is throwing 70, it's really 105 or whatever like that.
And it was funny, though, because some people in the comments were like, well, the ball's bigger and this and that. But they don't realize that, the ball is, but there's different – an underhand pitch is different than an overhand pitch, and where the ball is falling, everything was different. And it was
there's no rise ball in
baseball, but there is in softball. Yeah. And that was the pitch that was actually screwing them all up. They had no clue. They were like, "What is that?" And she's like, "It's a rise ball." And they're like, "What?" Like, because they don't see that, and they're used to the fastball curves and everything else. But
those balls drop.
Yep.
In baseball, that ball goes up.
It goes up, and it's neat to watch. I love softball, obviously, but if you haven't watched any of it, Oklahoma's going for their third national championship in a row. Texas, I think, is the team to beat. They're unstoppable. But
is the one girl still on Oklahoma that hits all the home runs? She's still there?
I think she's a senior
been there
this
for
year.
like 10 years.
She's a senior, I think, this year. And she probably is one of the super seniors because I'm pretty sure all college sports got that COVID year if you fell into it. Some stay, some don't. Most of them for, like, softball, they stay because now they have pros. But before, a lot of things like with basketball, these girls won't stay because they can go off into the WNBA. But it's interesting to watch. Mike was all, curious about the pitches and stuff. He was just like amazed. And
it's different.
It is. It's nice to watch, but yeah. So
I just can't stand the chants. I don't know why. Just be quiet and play the game.
It's the same with baseball because even the boys do it in high school. Like I'll hear them, and some parents would be like, "You why are they doing that?" And I'm like, I guess it's just the excitement. I don't know. It's what do you do in football to hype each other up? I mean, it's basically the same thing, but
knock somebody out.
Yeah. you really can't do that in baseball or softball. I mean, you can, depending on, where they're positioned in front of the bag. But
believe me, when I was running down first base, the first baseman made sure to get out of the way.
He's like, "Oh, nope, this guy's coming. I'm good. Bye." Like he plays. I'm sure they all knew, too. Like, yeah, he plays football. Yep, I'm staying out of that way.
Yeah. Well, going to Wake Forest, I thought, okay, I'm going to play both. I'm going to play baseball and football. And then I got to school and was like, listen, that's not happening. School's way too hard to play two sports.
It's a lot. We've got one of the kids that Mike coached. He just graduated. Timmy Lawson just graduated from Bishop Barreau, and he actually got accepted to North Carolina Tar Heels. Mm-hmm. And he's a dual. He's football and baseball. And I'm just like, hats off to you, kid.
That's UNC. That's not Wake Forest. That's an easier school.
Well, here we go. See, I love it.
So at Wake,
that in-state rival.
Wake caps the amount of students that are allowed in each classroom per teacher.
Really?
So typically, there's 15 to 20 kids per teacher at Wake, each class, even the freshman, orientation classes and everything like that. So a big part of your grade is actually participation. So you actually have to be prepared.
I wouldn't have survived. I went to the University of Toledo, and I remember my biology, my chemistry classes. You were in the big auditoriums, and there was hundreds of kids. Like if you didn't show up, that teacher had no clue.
Right.
They had no clue who your face was. Like they did not know. You'd be like, "Hi, Mr. Blah blah blah. I'm Darlene, and I'm in your biology class. Okay, what do you need? Like I don't know who you are."
My high school was like that. My
really
my history class was the auditorium, and there was about 500 kids in there. And that was probably ninth grade.
That was a big. See, it was a cultural shock for me because I went to a high school where
high school.
My graduating class was barely over 100 kids. So you got to think my class sizes were like 10, 12. They were small. And then I went to college, and I always said, now looking back, thank goodness I was in sports because I had that. They make sure you have tutors. When you're in, I don't know how they were at Wake Forest. I know at Toledo, they made sure that all of their student athletes. You got those study hours in. Yeah, they have tutors, especially if you're traveling. You have someone that they have people that go with you to make sure that all your classwork. Because with the NCAA, you have to be eligible. There's no gray area whatsoever. If you're not doing your classwork, you're not passing, you're not playing. I don't care if you're the star athlete. I don't care who the hell you are. You're not playing. So they make sure that they have people that, keep up on you. And thank goodness for that, because I don't
Yeah.
think I would have survived as a college student just normally going into a classroom where they didn't care. They
Yeah.
didn't know who I was. There was hundreds of kids already in there.
I didn't have all that in
I don't
choir.
think I don't think I would have.
Well, that was the thing too. So like
Nobody cared.
at Wake, when you were a freshman, you had to walk in and you had to go to study hall, and you actually had a time card that you had to log in, and you had to get, I don't even remember, I think it was like 10 or 15 hours a week.
Yep.
And so whenever you had a tutoring session, so your first semester, you always had tutors no matter what. And then after that, depending on your grades, you could not have
Opt out of
yeah,
it,
you could
yeah.
opt out and not have the tutors or the study hours. So what I would always do is I would drop the study hours. I don't want mandatory study hours. I want to be able to study wherever I can. And I would always pick up tutors for my hardest classes.
Yep. I did it. Toledo was about the same thing for me. They kept track, but they didn't like have a time card kind of thing. It was weird, but
Yeah, there
They
was
always
one
had somebody in
computer
there.
you could go to. You had to go to
Really?
when you walked in, and there was a lady that sat at the front desk and watched everybody log in, so you weren't logging in for your buddy or whatever.
body or something.
Ah.
See, we had they
There was
tried
ti-
to.
There was times we tried to do it.
Oh yeah, and they tried to. And I know because softball is obviously a smaller team than the football team. You've got a lot more kids, but they tried to keep a lot of us together. So like all the freshmen that were on the softball team, they tried to keep us together, do us in study. Because a lot of you, if you're going for your freshman, your sophomore year, you've got a lot of, especially your freshman year, you have all the basic classes. You've always got your maths, your Englishes, and all that, unless you've taken it now in high
Right.
school. But
Well,
they tried to
then
keep us together.
The
so-
budget probably isn't as big to do tutoring for a softball team
Yeah.
as it was for the Toledo football team.
Oh yeah,
or
because
whatever.
they're making more
What
money.
year did you
Right.
graduate high school, Tommy?
I graduated in 2008.
2008. I feel old.
I'm not too far behind him.
Oh.
I was 05.
Oh.
Yeah, but yeah.
Well,
So
I was 1998. I was like 10 years before Tommy.
if it makes
I was
you,
8 years old.
I was 8 years old. So you say that, and it's funny because Mike and I are 10 years apart. So Mike graduated in 95, and I graduated in 05, and we always laugh about that now because now it doesn't matter. We're adults,
Bunch of old
age,
people.
Age doesn't matter, but it's funny to look back because like I guarantee like Tommy and I are gonna make you feel really young. How old were you when September 11th happened?
Oh.
You were an adult, right?
Yeah, I was 20.
I was a freshman in high school, and you probably were in like
I
seventh grade.
was 11 years old.
Yeah, he was like
so-
6th, 7th grade.
1998, I would have been 18. Then it happened 2001.
Yeah.
19, 20. I was 21.
Yeah, I was a freshman in high school.
I was on a military
I
base.
remember that. Yeah. So
in
I mean,
Texas.
it's funny to look back at
Yep.
that stuff now, but
And you know what? That's funny because you never forget that. Like
Right.
you
No.
never
Even
forget.
being 11 years old, you're like, I remember exactly where I was. I was at Diplomat Middle School. I was at gym whenever my mom called me out, and then we started watching on TV.
yeah, I was homesick that day actually. I don't know. I wasn't really sick.
Yeah.
I always tried to play hooky with my mom, especially freshman year. I didn't like freshman year of high school. It was a hard year for me, and so I was playing hooky, and I was at home, and Mom was watching.
Yeah.
I don't know, one of the game shows, Price is Right or whatever the hell it was on at that time, and.
Breaking news.
Yeah, it just came across, and I remember just sitting there, and I'm like, Mom. She's like, what?
Yeah.
Because we're originally from Connecticut, so Connecticut, New York, they're right there. So
Right.
I mean, that was close to home, and
I
then
was running late to everything that day. So I lived on Lackland Air Force Base, but there was a side that was Medina, which was like where the housing was. So I was in housing and on the Air Force Base. I worked on the other side of the base, which I had to like leave the base, go on regular street, and then go back into the base. So I was running late for something or whatever. I had an appointment, and then I just get a phone call. They're like, "Don't leave your house." I'm like, "What?" They're like, "You're never gonna get off the base to go into the other base. Don't leave your house." I'm like, "What do you got? We're on lockdown immediately." And then he just turned on the TV, and then that's when like everything started happening. I was like, "Oh my god!" Like,
That's probably the safest place to be, though, on base.
well,
you would think.
there was two things that happened. There's a sense of like, "Oh my god, I'm glad I'm here," and then there's also a second part of you that goes, "Oh my god, what's about to happen?" Because like you saw everything go down on lockdown. You hear like the sirens start going, the people like the dogs start coming out because they started out checking all the cars for bombs and stuff like that. And it was just like no in or out of the traffic, in or out of the base at that point. If you made it in, you're in. If you're out, and we don't know when you're coming in,
Right.
kind of thing. It was probably like one of the craziest, scariest days that I had ever experienced like in my life. All happened in 1 second,
Right.
Yeah,
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 and
we
just
were.
all our neighbors, and we were all like on base, and we're all like coming out like what oh my God, like what do we got to do? Like, do we pack a duffel bag? What do we do?
Yeah, right.
You
I
know,
remember.
like, you
I
know,
remember
like,
my
what do we do?
dad
Really?
calling my mom because it was after the first one, and then my dad called my mom and said, "Where's Darlene?" And she's like, "She's home. Why?" And he had said, like, turn on the news. We missed the first one, and then we caught, the second one and everything. But the scary thing is the plane that crashed in Pennsylvania flew over our house. And my dad was worried because there was a nuclear power plant that was in between where we lived in Toledo. And if it were to have crashed into that, I mean, I wouldn't be sitting here today.
Right.
I mean, so it was a scary situation.
And at that time, we had house phones.
Yeah.
So
We
my
didn't have no
house
cell
phone was
phones.
just ringing like nonstop, and then
You
like
okay?
you'll be on the phone, and
Yeah.
it's like beeping because somebody else is trying
Yep.
to call you.
Yeah.
And it was just like,
And that was my
Ringing
mom. She
off
was
the
calling
phone.
everybody back
Everything,
in
yeah.
Connecticut, because we didn't know where everyone.
Yeah.
You had to make sure everyone was
Like-
okay. So it was a crazy time, but
you're just like, are
was-
you being deployed? What's happening? I'm like, I don't know what's happening.
I don't know what's going on. I'm just.
Well, so
I'm just
like
here.
speaking of air bases, though, the place that we stayed down in the Keys, the campsite
That's right. You just came back
was
from the Keys.
right next to the Naval Air Base.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm on the boat, and whatever the big planes are, was it F-17,
Something like
F-15,
that, yeah.
whatever it is. There's two of them, and I'm sitting on the boat, driving the boat, and I look up, and it looked like they were about 30 feet above us. It was the
You could
coolest
almost,
thing
you
ever.
could almost like touch them.
I don't
like
know
a
if
movie.
I don't know if Katie got a picture of it or anything like that because the baby was sleeping on her.
Yeah.
Best baby ever. She slept we drove all the way to the Dry Tortugas from
Really?
and so it's a 70-mile boat trip there and 70 miles back. The baby slept the entire time.
No
Really?
way.
It was incredible. I
That's nice.
like I was
Good baby.
complete
Yeah.
and I'm glad it was rough waters on the way back, so I'm glad that she slept the entire way because I was nervous. It wasn't a fun trip.
Does she
Yeah.
she doesn't get boat sick, does she?
No.
Yeah, because she's been going since what?
She's a water
She was
baby.
born-
7 weeks
yeah,
old, probably.
She was a baby,
Yeah,
baby. So
She's
A
great
water
on the boat
baby.
though. No, she loves it. We but no, it was pretty cool because that day we're driving back and I look up and the planes are just right there and going fast and they were over Havana, Cuba and got back to us before we got 20 miles. Like they're so
Jeez, they're
fast.
fast,
It's incredible.
Dang.
that's our next investment is a boat because that's what Mike
Oh, I
wants
thought you
to
were going
do.
to say a plane.
No, Mike wants to
That's
go.
I mean, I'd take
like,
a plane.
No, Mike
I'm like,
wants
I'm
to.
in.
Mike
I just
wants to
want
be
I
able
want
to
a
go
rich
to-
friend that has a plane
Right?
so I can
Yeah.
just borrow it.
Yeah,
Hey, I'll pay
'cause-
for the gas.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, I won't.
No,
Yeah, you
no,
won't.
yeah.
$10,000 just
No,
for
never mind.
gas. That probably
Never
gets through from here to
I'll bring the
Naples.
snacks.
Does it take regular unleaded?
Right.
Okay, then I got it.
Then we're good. But yeah, he wants to get a boat because that's just what he wants to do. He's like, we could take the boat. We can go to the Keys for the weekend. I'm like, okay, whatever. Like this is pipe dreams.
Well, the first day we were there, it was
I miss having a boat.
perfect weather. Like no,
Really?
my father-in-law and I, we went out fishing, and it looked like a pool. Like it was no wave or anything like that.
And you're talking about the Keys, like right off the Keys? Like, are you talking
Yeah, so
like
we were-
Isla Morada down there?
No, we were
or
in
like-
Key West. So
Okay.
we were at Boyd's campground, and it's the furthest south campground that you can be. So we were mile marker 5.
I know
wow,
that's
okay.
we stayed in a hotel right by there.
And so the first day, completely flat, calm, couldn't ask for a better day. And we were supposed to go to the Dry Tortugas on Saturday once Katie's brother and his family came down. We looked at the weather Thursday night and made the decision to go to the Dry Tortugas on Friday because the weather was not
Is
as
that for
bad.
the concert that they were having out there?
No, we
Or
were
was
just there to have fun.
Gotcha.
My father-in-law wants to go to all of the national parks that he can, and that was one of the ones in Florida that he's never been to because you can only get there by water or seaplane.
That
Oh,
sounds
wow.
fun, though.
So we took the boat there, and the weather kicked up on the way back, like I said. So it wasn't a fun boat ride on the way back, but we got home, so we're safe. The boat did what it needed to do.
That's all that matters, right?
And then, like I said, Katie's brother and his family came the next day, and so we didn't go fishing on Saturday, but we went on Sunday. And again, the weather kicked up on the way back, and I hope my nephew knows that I love him because I wouldn't have been back there, out there if it wasn't for him wanting to go
Aw.
fish.
Aw.
What a good
kids.
uncle. What a good uncle. But that's my only thing. As I told
Aw.
Mike, like when you get out there, if something happens, like a storm rolls in, because we know we live in Florida, they roll in,
Right.
and you're stuck out there, and I don't want to be stuck out in a storm.
Well, so
I'm good.
I have all the safety devices. I have the e-perp, so if I hit the water and I wear it, if I hit the water, it instantly calls the Coast Guard.
Really?
Oh, nice.
And then I have a satellite. It's a Garmin satellite phone. It's basically it only text messages.
Yeah.
Is the only thing it does. So it's a little bit cheaper.
Yeah, but still, if you get into a situation,
Right,
because
but it'll as soon as
Better
I
text
hit
message
send.
than no message.
Well,
right?
as soon as I hit send, it gives my GPS longitude and latitude coordinates to Katie right away. So like whenever I'm offshore fishing, I just send like every 15, 20 minutes,
where
I'll
you're
hit
at.
a preset, hey, I'm here. Hey, I'm here. And it gives her that at least peace of mind.
Peace of mind. Does she worry about you when you're out there?
Well, she's actually called the Coast Guard on us before.
Really? I love it.
Well, so my thing that I never do is I never give her a set time of, hey, I'm going to be back at this time.
Yeah.
Because like you said, you could have weather, you could
Or you could be out there and
you'd
you're
be
just
catching
hitting.
fish.
Yeah, you're
you
just
should be
catching
catching
and
a ton of
catching.
fish. So like I say, all right, I'll be back in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So unless it's a fishing tournament where we have to be back at a certain time. So
You
like
don't
we
know,
have
yeah.
the off-duty lifestyle red snapper bash coming up in July. We have to be back by the dock by I think 4.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to be back. So that's different. But if it's just a normal fishing day, I never give her a set time. I'll be like, I'll keep texting you and I'll let you know whenever I'm in range with the cell phone.
All right, so I'm just going to read some of these comments here. We've got Jamie checking in. She's saying Cuban coffee is so good. And yes, thank you, SJC, for giving us our cafecito fill today. Also, Kelly says that lightning on the water is the worst. It's so scary.
That happened to us this weekend as well. We got to a sandbar with the whole family, let the kids out, and all of a sudden, kaboom! Get back in the boat. We're leaving.
Yep, we're
Sorry,
done.
kids.
We're done. That is
Took
the
us
scary thing.
like 35, 40 minutes to get to the sandbar, and then,
of course, that happens.
sorry, kids, get back in. They got to snorkel for about 3 minutes.
Florida.
Sean just chimed in. Tommy, are you coming to Deadpool? I have 2 tickets for you.
Deadpool?
Yeah, we're going to be taking over the theater for SJC sponsoring.
What day?
It's going to be on August 1st.
It's a Thursday.
August 1st?
Thursday night.
I could possibly come, yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So there you go. So even more when we give away these tickets, now you get to hang out with Tommy Bohannon too.
There we go.
And Katie.
We got some tickets for you.
Yeah, she's better than me. She's more excited.
We're going to have fun. All right, and we've got Gladys says, yes, look at Betty doing coffee shots. Girl.
I can only do one, and I'm already
was
wired.
how
I needed that.
lived.
I needed that at like 5 a.m.
I
now
was
I'm like,
3
woo,
drinking
like ready to go.
espresso. Like, that's just my life.
I just need to know how to make that on the days that I have to be here really
so
early.
simple.
Yeah, good.
You get a Cuban machine, coffee maker back here.
Perfect.
That's
I
what
gotta
I
start
don't
making
drink
some.
the American coffee. It's too.
Oh, that was good.
Meh.
That was like sweet too.
Yeah. Tons of sugar. See, it's like,
Of course.
It's pure black. It's like, ooh.
What about the medium iced vanilla frosted donut single?
Also
there's a lot of
also needs
sugar in
another
that too.
I think that's a milkshake.
Yeah, pretty much.
They pretty
is.
much are. They're like sugar. Oh, he shared the event.
Frosted donut. There you go. Yeah, so Katie
In the
can
chat.
see it. But yeah, we've got lots of. Here's more.
Well, so we totally didn't stay on my little. I worked. I got a schedule, but we didn't stay on it.
Sorry,
So
we got
let's
excited.
roll
We started
with it.
talking about
no, we're
everything.
good. We're gonna give away the massage tomorrow because I don't. It's already 15 minutes.
Stay tuned for the massage.
Yeah.
I got to get going.
Yep. So
Well,
Tommy's gonna.
thank you,
biggity bounce.
Tommy.
Yes.
It
Thanks
was
for coming and
good
hanging
to-
out
Of
with
course. Thanks for having me.
And
Thanks
it looks
you.
like you're gonna have Jamie over there for
The two
your
misfits.
her
Oh,
kids are
the-
gonna be out there
for the football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Football camp. So
Familiar faces around.
good luck with that. I'm
Yeah,
excited
it'll
to
be
see the pictures.
well, I'll be back in next week
Oh, yeah, that's
before
true.
it. So,
Perfect.
yeah, it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah. So make
Thank
sure though,
you.
if you have kids that are in that age group,
I'm assuming that the registration will get closed by at least the end of this week.
Yeah.
So
And all the information's on your website.
yeah, so it's all you can register straight from the website. Just go to TommyBohannonFoundation.org, and then there should be an events tab, and the youth football camp will be right there, and you can register now.
perfect.
Perfect.
So make sure you get them registered because again, like you said, they're already getting close. So if
They're
you want your
over
kiddos to
300
go out,
already. So
Space
get them
is
out
limited.
there. It's good. They get to hang out with Tommy and a bunch of good coaches in the area and high school students and learn
Mentors.
a
Make sure
lot
they
about
bring
football.
a water bottle. Make sure that they bring some cleats and
And they
have a
get
good
free
time.
T-shirt, right?
free T-shirt, free
t-shirt,
swag bag, free
See?
lunch,
See?
free ice cream,
I
And
love
it gives you mom and dads a chance to just
and you
get
can
them out
just
of the
drop
house.
them off.
Yep.
You don't have to stay.
You don't have to stay. You don't have to sit out.
But
in
you
the
do
hot
have to pick them
scorching
up.
sun. Yeah.
Yeah, please do.
Stress that.
Or Tommy will be calling the
Please
Lee
do.
County Sheriff, and
'Cause
I doubt you want to deal with
after a long day, I do not want to watch your kids anymore.
that.
No.
He's already done enough.
We're all
so.
sweaty.
I'm going to jump in the pool after.
Right? And probably take a nice, good sleep for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
So, alrighty, guys. Well, thank you, Tommy. We
Thank you,
appreciate
Tommy.
you.
Thank you,
guys.
And we're going to hit this break, and we will be back to wrap up the show. Hit the button, darling. There we go.
Is that us?
It's us.
Is that you?
It's me.
Oh,
All right. So
I
before we
can't
go.
believe this. It's
Was
time
it?
to go already?
It was. This day went by quick. I didn't even get through everything that I printed out, and I didn't even think I printed out enough. And we didn't get to the game, and I know, I'm sorry, guys. We will do that tomorrow. I'll put up a little post or whatever. So share it with all your friends. Share it with all the dads that you know to tell them to call in tomorrow and play our game to win a wonderful, Betty and I can't say enough, and we've said it many, many times. She doesn't pay us to say this. We pay with our own money to get massages, but she's by far the best. So you get a 60-minute massage, and then you get also, I think it's 60-minute, or it might be a 90-minute massage. I'll find it, and I'll make sure I know the
go
time.
for 90, and there's one.
I go for the 90, but she's doing a massage and an assisted stretch giveaway for Father's Day to one lucky dad. So
Get your daddy-o stretched out.
get your daddy-o stretched out and relaxed, and let him feel a little
And
pampered.
renewed. Relaxed
Yeah,
and
relaxed, renewed, and make him feel a little pampered on his special day coming up next Sunday, right?
I
Yep,
want to just
next
take
Sunday.
a second and just tell everybody thank you guys so much for popping in and being here and just hanging out with us. It means so much to me. I mean, like, we're both just, like, super, super happy that you're here.
Oh, yeah.
And we have so much fun just watching the comments that come through. You guys are a blast. So I hope this is your therapy as much as it is mine.
It is mine, too.
Let's do
Even
it.
though this is stressful. But here, we'll leave you with some good
yeah,
news.
Big Mama, get back here.
Right? I like my seat over there where I don't have to do very much.
Yeah. I want to go back to being in space on my side.
Right?
I have to look at buttons, too.
Yeah, you're like, I don't like this.
No.
These buttons are a lot more than those buttons. I'll go back to those buttons any day. But we'll leave you with some
We love you guys.
good news. So a crossing guard in New York known as Miss Maggie is being celebrated online after announcing she'll finally retire this month at 90 years young.
90.
She's been a crossing guard at the same school in Brooklyn since 1978.
Aww.
When she started, Jimmy Carter was president, the Bee Gees were top in the charts, and Grease was the #1 movie in America. She says she plans to go see the world. Quote, I've been working all my life. It's time to travel. So I hope Miss Maggie has a wonderful retirement and gets to travel
Yes.
wherever she wants to travel and have the best years of her
She
life.
has patience of a saint. Being 90 years old and dealing with everybody else's kids.
Right?
I'll be like, get off of that.
So another one we'll leave you with before we biggity bounce out of here. A Mediterranean restaurant chain, Cava, has around 300 locations across the United States, and they're in the news after a guy got a free meal but didn't know why. His receipt has been trending online because a lot of people didn't know about this.
Okay.
His subtotal was $11.05, but under it was a line item that said love, and the full charge was removed. He says the cashier told him you're all set, and he thought they were hitting on him or something, but it turns out Cava lets employees hand out free food occasionally just to make someone's day or reward them for being nice. There's a button on the register called love that automatically comps one meal.
How sweet
So that's
is
pretty
that?
cool. So I like that. So do we have a Cava around here?
Yeah, I think we do.
So I definitely want to go support him just because they don't even have to give me a free meal. I just
Oh
think
my
that's
God,
really
that
cool
is so
that
cool. I
they
love
let their
that.
employees, treat somebody when they feel that they deserve it. And who knows, maybe if you're having a bad day and, you stop in. You'll
How
get
many
your
times have you
free.
seen somebody and you're like, man, I wish I could, like, bless them today? Like, what can, you know what I mean?
I've
Like,
done it. I've
I
done it
love
a couple
that.
times. I've had it done to me, and I've done it. I always like when
I
you
try,
go through, like,
and then sometimes I get kind of shy, so I just try to, like, do it, like, without them noticing.
yeah, I've done it before, like when I've been in Starbucks. I've
I
been
had
like, hey, how much is the total behind me? And
I
she'd
had
be like,
one guy, it didn't turn out very well.
Really?
I was standing behind him in Publix, and he was old. He was so old, and I felt so bad. He has a little shopping cart, and he's, whatever. And I just told the girl, I said, I'll pay. I was quiet.
I'll
I
take
just said,
care.
I'll take care of it. And then so he's puts his little groceries up there. I mean, it was probably, I don't know, whatever. It's like under $100. And so she's like, okay, sir. But he couldn't hear. It's okay, sir. You're good. What do you mean my credit card's not working?
he thought he was declined, and he really
What?
wasn't.
Like he's like, no, it's okay, it's taken care of. But he's like, I don't don't get what's going on here. Why won't you take my money? And I was like, and he was so old, like so afraid. Like he was so hunched over that to even say anything, he had to look up because he was just like a little
He
man. Looked like a little candy cane, you know. And I felt so bad for him. And I was like, I normally don't like saying stuff, but I had to be like, okay, it's okay, sir. I paid for it. He's like, oh. Really? I'm like, yeah, it's okay. You're good. Your credit card is good. Don't call anybody. You're fine.
I love it.
But that was like the only time that it kind of backfired on me. But even then, like, it was cute. I don't think he even realized what was going on. You know, he was just, I don't know. Sometimes you just see people, you just want to help people. I don't know why. Like, I have no rhyme or reason. It's just you get drawn to them, and I love that they can do that at Cabo.
I love it. It's really cool. Anything else before we go?
Come back tomorrow for more chaos. Thank you for sticking with us in today's chaos.
Yeah. We're getting a little better. I'm getting a little better with the buttons. I know I'll get used to it, and then Big Mom will come back. And that's okay. I'm okay with that. But if you guys are bored tonight and you want to go and have some great food, I will be out at Brooks tonight starting at 7 p.m. for trivia. So come out and see me. We'll have a good old time. You can watch me stumble over a lot of words, and it's really funny, and I make fun of myself, and you can make fun of me, too. It's so good.
I love it.
But come on out to Brooks. I cannot wait to go. I'm going to get a big
you have, like, no
basket of
bored.
sissy nuggets. I cannot wait. I've been saving all day. Like, you brought in this food, and I'm like, man, it tastes really good, but I'm, like, saving myself for sissy nuggets later. So come on out and see me, and we will be back here, same time, same place, tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. We're going to give away that massage. We have it's going to actually be 2 men and a lady. Or no, 2 women and a man. Because hopefully Coach Bob calls in.
2 chicks and a dude?
2 chicks and a dude.
Yeah.
2 chicks and a dude. I like it. We're going to go with it. So we're going to have let us know if you have any relationship problems, and we will talk about them tomorrow. 2 chicks and a dude walk into a bar. And this is going the wrong way. With that being said, when the repo man comes for the car, don't forget to...
Save the